I'm Scott G.
And I'm Phil D.
This week on the show, vampires, werewolves, and ripoffs. Oh my! Today we're talking about Resident Evil Village and Frankenstein's army and what the situation is there with our good friend GrasScale.
Yo, so
Add it to the top over there.
oh yeah, my name's actually
Yeah.
So wait, does that mean you tag me in?
We're tagging it.
exactly.
Yeah,
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why he's got damage.
That's right.
Absolutely.
2 on 1,
All
man.
right,
This
let
ain't
me know.
fair. This ain't
Let's
fair.
go, payday.
Here's my Sunday best.
So what do you think of this?
Well,
All right, so I guess let's start with news.
hold on a second. I think we need to address what we're actually talking about here.
Okay.
So the first thing, we mentioned it a couple weeks ago about the idea that there were some characters that were ripped off from Resident Evil, from this movie Frankenstein's
Resident Evil 8
Army.
specifically.
Resident
Yeah.
Evil 8, yes.
Village.
And we watched Frankenstein's Army. And we are going to compare just how much of a ripoff it is.
Yeah, and guys, just so you know, we actually did a movie commentary.
Yeah.
That will be up on a separate channel, and I will be updating you guys on where to find that.
Because we're worried that we're going to get like a copyright strike
We're
for doing it.
I'm
So we're
gonna
test
build I'm gonna build a
first.
test kind of burner channel just to make sure that we don't tank any of our other accounts.
Yeah, because we don't want them takedowns.
But I'd
We don't
love
need
to
that.
I'd love to continue doing movie commentaries because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So on to the news.
What's
Right.
the news?
Well, I'm gonna start with some other takedowns. It looks like Nintendo's really being an asshole to ROM sites right now.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I was about to say that's not news.
They've taken a major ROM site to court, and the dude might even be facing prison time at this point.
I'm sure.
Ooh.
And but also he kind of fucked up because he admitted that he uploaded the stuff himself to the website when he could have just not said that and
Right.
probably been okay.
Yeah.
So, but it seems like they're making a statement here.
Yeah, of course you're gonna try to make an example.
Make an example
Yeah,
of him
absolutely.
and have it to where we don't have ROMs on the internet anymore.
Tell you, man, Nintendo is Disney 2.0.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and they're
Well,
trying to
they're
make sure that everyone knows that. you
Yeah,
know,
well,
it's
they're
like-
incredibly. They're incredibly protective of their IPs.
Absolutely.
And I kind of go back and forth on this because I understand it because it's one of those things with like copyright law. If you don't protect your IP, you pretty much lose it.
Yeah.
right.
So there's that. But at the same time, I mean, they're not putting out most of these games themselves.
Well,
anyway.
they want the
And-
opportunity. They want to be able to put them out in the future and profit off of putting that out whenever.
Well, yeah.
Whenever they decide to be like, okay, well, here's the Pokemon Red, Blue, Gold, Black collection.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
for $69.99.
They don't want there to be a free option.
Right,
out
you know,
there.
it's like,
yeah.
well, I just played Black and it was dope.
Yeah,
So I'm
exactly.
good. I don't have to buy your new package.
Right,
But
exactly.
yeah, I think that's kind of their game plan here. It's like, okay, well, right now, I don't know. Looking at the Switch's current library, a lot of those games are kind of lackluster. Like, there's some good stuff over there
There's
for
some
sure.
good stuff.
There's some good stuff.
On the eShop, you do kind of have to dig through a
Dig,
whole
yeah.
shit ton of shovelware.
Bunch of shovel.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think they're looking at all of that, and it's like,
We-
okay, how do we
we-
keep making money going forward?
Yeah.
Mm.
We only need so many visual novels, guys. I'm just
Right.
saying.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of ROMs. I always have been. I think that having a collection of those is good because of exactly these situations. Because I mean, there's a shit ton of games that you're right. They would like to have in their pocket so that they can release later. But
Exactly.
then there's a bunch of games that are wonderful games that I almost guarantee are never going to come out.
Yeah, they just never show
Yeah.
any interest in them.
Like
yeah.
Mother 3.
Yeah, no, we're never getting Mother 3, guys.
Yeah, but there's a translated version of Mother 3.
Oh yeah, online. You can definitely play it.
Yeah.
You know.
So get a ROM.
Yeah.
Go get a ROM.
Well,
That's
and
the
that,
way to do that.
That goes into like just game preservation in general. I
Exactly.
think
Yeah,
like not just Nintendo. There's a lot of game companies that just don't care about their old libraries.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of those. I mean, because where's the line drawn when it comes to piracy, right?
Yeah. Right.
And so that's the biggest thing to think about. Now, due to the fact that we grew up when we did, and the fact that ROMs are a huge part of where we are now, like that's led us to where we are. We think nothing of it, right? And it's just like whatever, a DS emulator, GBA emulator, like that should be fine by now.
Yeah.
It should be fine. But at the same time, from a legal standpoint, it's not.
I mean, that's the thing. Is
when
just
does that
like
become public domain?
Nintendo's legally.
When it comes to Nintendo,
never,
absolutely never, right?
Yeah.
And so I do think that you kind of slight yourself in a lot of ways because as long as people are playing these older titles, they're more likely to play a sequel when you happen to make one, if you happen to make one. However, looking at a lot of developers like Capcom, going back through their laundry list, their litany of abandoned IPs, and now thinking about, I'm like, okay, well, we need new IPs. It's like, do we need new IPs? Actually, we got old IPs.
That's right. So, we can just re-release those, or we can make a new one out of that. Yeah.
Or Ghosts and Goblins, right? Yeah. So I think this has become the strategy now, because this also leads into a conversation that we were having the other day about
nostalgia.
Yeah, predatory nostalgia or whatever. Yeah,
absolutely. And so I think that's the key now. It's like, okay, how do we just prey on people's nostalgia? How do we weaponize that for ourselves? Right?
Yeah.
And so that's step one. It's like, okay, let's shut down these ROM sites. And yeah, they're probably going to make an example of that dude because they want to make sure that everyone knows, just how serious it is. It's like Capcom. They're like, okay, if you put any of our music into your videos on YouTube, on Twitch,
absolutely.
whatever, if you put any of our games without it being, without it boosting the game in some way, if you're not making a guide, if you're not doing things like that, we're pulling that shit down. You know what I'm saying? We're pulling it all down. Man. So a lot of game devs are getting really serious about their, I guess, money-making potential.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the thing too. Like you were saying before, is they are legally within their rights to do this. Yeah. It's not like they're
just accept that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like it's not. There's really nothing you can do about that. Right. If you're posting ROMs that you don't own, legally they have the right to come and take you down.
Right. Never enough visual novels.
Oh, man.
Jeez, man, look at these drop frames.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It's so bad.
Really sorry, guys, about the drop frames. Hopefully that'll fix itself.
I mean, is it dropping for you all? Do you all see the same thing?
I imagine they're getting completely frozen.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can hear us.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Okay.
So just guys, we're just gonna
have to upload this later.
Yeah, we're gonna just have to upload this later.
Thanks for checking us out.
Yeah, for real. Thanks for thanks for being here. We'll figure it out. Look, we're just gonna keep going with the episode. If you want to check back on the Twitch or look at the YouTube in about a week when I get this episode edited and uploaded there, and it'll be up there a lot earlier on like Anchor and Spotify, just so you guys know. So,
well, if we're not editing this one, I can just upload this video directly
immediately.
After this.
Yeah, which is what we're probably gonna do.
I'm probably gonna have to because I am getting dog shit.
So sorry, guys. We'll fix it. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways. More news.
Don't sound so excited about it.
Yeah, right.
Hey, what do you guys think about this Dragon Quest theme park? Huh?
Oh, I want to go there so bad. I want to go there. Oh my god, that looks so fun.
It does look really cool.
That looks so fun.
Yeah, I think that the Japanese kill it when it comes to theme parks.
Oh,
man.
yeah, absolutely.
And it also sucks, like you were saying, that they opened up Nintendo Land and then immediately had to shut it down.
Oh yeah.
Due to COVID, the COVID cases are actually rising in Japan right now. So it's funny that they are still moving forward with a lot of these theme park designs that they've been working on for years, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, this is scheduled for 2020 opening, and then 2020,
and then the whole world caught on fire.
It's like, but Nintendo Land.
But yeah, exactly. Well, I think okay, so going back to the the Dragon Quest theme park.
Yeah.
Have you
Yes.
seen this yet?
I've seen a little bit of it. I watched a little video. I didn't watch the whole thing though. So
Yeah,
I didn't do a full walkthrough.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I watched the full walkthrough. I think what is it? They give you little chips or whatever, and you go through like this recreation of like some villages and like some more grassy, like foresty areas, and they have these video monitors that you go and you put your chip up on, and then what is it? You have to like stand in a specific position to do an attack. So I mean, they'll be like crouch, and it'll like. It's like,
so
it's
how
like
are we
O-shape.
how are we handling crowds here? Is it like one at a time? You go up to the monitor, you put your chip in, and then you crouch.
I think
You know, and there's a line of people behind you watching you, like cheering you on.
yeah,
Your
yeah.
party's just
I
huge.
bel-
That's what it is.
yeah, that's what it is.
But it is turn-based combat.
Yeah, it is really
I'll
cool.
come around eventually.
All right, but that looks like a really fun place to go, and I'm actually currently playing Final Fantasy 11.
Dragon Quest 11.
Dragon Quest 11.
Great game.
Great
Very
game.
good game.
Yeah.
I still haven't played Dragon Quest 11. It looks nice.
It's a lot of fun, man. It's a nice little cozy, stroll through the forest.
So that just makes me think. Okay, so we have this Dragon Quest world, Dragon Quest land. I don't know what they're called.
Island, I think.
Island, Dragon Quest Island. I dig it. So we have our Mario themed island. What other theme parks? What other video games would you like to see made into theme parks?
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
come on. Resident Evil, dude.
Oh shit,
Well, that would be. They could do that for Halloween theme.
I'd love it.
that would be good.
Did they not do Resident? No, they didn't do RE. They didn't do.
Was it
RE.
House of the Dead that they did?
House of the Dead would be kind of difficult, actually.
Well, not
You know,
really.
it seems
Well,
like on the
because have you
surface it
ever
would be
been?
really easy, except
Well,
for-
have you ever been to what is it, Adventure Island over in Orlando, over there by Universal Studios?
Right.
Okay, so they have a Spider-Man game where they or a Spider-Man attraction where they basically just put you in a cart with a bunch of other people and give you like these like light guns or whatever,
Right.
and 3D glasses, and they just kind of send you through it like a rail shooter.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, they
There's
could
a-
do
That'd
that.
be cool as a ride, you
Yeah.
know. But as far as like a full theme park, you know, because
Oh,
like when you look
I
at the
gotcha.
Nintendo theme, like they've got like little Goomba burgers and like all of
Yeah.
this. Like, it is
Oh,
You
Nintendo
can eat
support.
Luigi's hat.
Never mind on Resident Evil. The
it's
food
amazing.
would be
Yeah,
bad.
it's
All of the food is bad. Do not
Yeah.
eat any of the food.
It's all
at the
covered in
Resident Evil
maggots
theme
and
park.
shit.
Oh, for real, you know? It's like
Yeah.
maybe like a Ninja Gaiden theme park.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult to even get in
Get
the
in
place.
the place.
Yeah,
Exactly.
all of the people that work there throw kunai at you the whole
yeah,
time.
absolutely.
like your ticket is made of rice paper,
Yeah.
and the first thing you have to go through is like a waterfall.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So it's like yeah, you know.
Use your ninpo.
Did I have that? It's like, oh, that was $30 extra. Sorry,
Dang.
Oh,
can't come
man.
in, go home.
Yeah, so did you guys hear about Amazon buying MGM?
I did.
buying the
Yeah.
mob.
Because they released some statement about how they wanted to do like a 007 like series or whatever. Yeah. So that would be, I think they said that it would be almost completely detached from any of the movies, like you like almost to the point to where they may not even have Bond in it at all.
Wow.
Like it may be
How
They're
does
not
that
gonna
work?
like it
change
might be
the
a
race or
side.
gender of Bond.
Right. Well, it may be an MI6
pandering. Right.
movie, where or show where they don't necessarily follow Bond himself, but maybe other agents in MI6.
I wonder how that would fly. I wonder if people would care. You know.
I mean, people watch Krypton.
Oh.
What's that again?
Oh, it's
Superman.
It's Superman. Yeah,
Making a point.
I mean, I don't watch it.
Yeah. Who are these
But
people?
other people,
Do I know
I
them?
assume they watch it.
It is a show.
It's still
It is-
on.
It is a show. I hear people talk about it. I mean, people have to be watching this, right?
or Gotham. There's another good
Gotham,
good one.
yeah,
Right.
it's just like a little side story of a
I
like
guess
well-known
Star Wars is doing
IP.
that too. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I would love to actually see that because I think that the Bond premise is kind of getting a little stale, little tired. I love him. I love
absolutely.
James fucking Bond. Love
Yeah.
him. But it's time to try something a little bit different. I just don't know if people would care.
Bond's
Yeah,
predictable,
that's the
man.
thing.
I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I'd love to see just in general for the Bond franchise. I'd love to see him go back to the '60s, man.
Right.
Who's your favorite
You know.
Bond?
That'd be cool.
Who's your guys' favorite Bond?
Roger Moore.
I'll give you props on that.
Yeah.
Who's my favorite. I mean, God damn it. I actually liked Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, I was about to say that, man. Dude, I grew up with
him.
Pierce. Yeah, I grew up with Pierce.
I thought he was a great Bond.
And he's, I was about to say, he's super slick.
Yeah.
You know, he looks like he could take a punch.
Right. You can throw one out.
I'm a big Daniel Craig fan. I really am.
Heard that.
Those movies are so dope.
I really liked Casino Royale, and Quantum of Solace is actually pretty solid if you watch it right after Casino Royale.
Which one's the one with the parkour scene?
I believe that's Casino.
That is Casino Royale.
I believe that's Casino.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things in a modern Bond. That across the rooftops parkour scene is fucking great.
One of my favorite things in Bond is just the intro to Skyfall.
Oh,
that
dude.
Shit,
yeah.
Dude, I watched
the
that
intro's
movie.
The best part of the movie.
It's the best part of the movie, dude.
Yeah.
I went to see that movie 3 times in one day just to watch that intro.
Oh, absolutely.
That was it, man.
Yeah, dude.
That was it. Like when the giant hand comes and grabs him by the leg.
Dude.
And just pulls him down, you know? I'm just like,
yeah, so good.
Go.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Bond intros are
usually pretty solid.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, buying MGM also means that they have like a whole bunch of weird movies under their belt too. I mean, like that means they're buying the rights to like Secret of Nim and
like those Don Bluth animations.
all those Don Bluth animations. All Dogs Go to Heaven. You know that
Land
kind of
Before
stuff.
Time.
Yeah, totally.
Anastasia, which a lot of people fucking hate for some reason, but I love it.
That's a great movie.
Yeah,
dude, Anastasia's great.
And the Bat's funny.
Yeah,
I like the Bat. Bartok.
Bartok is awesome.
Come on, it's got Rasputin in it, dude. What you
Right,
talking about?
exactly,
It's a
exactly.
Dude, and he's just always falling apart.
Yeah, dude. I gotta give respect to any cartoon bat, man.
Yeah,
absolutely. With Batty.
Oh yeah.
Roger
With
gets there
firm
right
belly.
there. Yeah, right. I mean,
dude, the Batty rap is awesome.
It is great.
Hey.
Yeah, it's so
My name
good.
is Betty.
Man. I can't believe we haven't seen some more Fern Gully, actually.
I think that it's only a matter of time before we see a Fern Gully remake.
Yeah.
Or a live action, which please don't do it.
Yeah, no. I'd rather see CG before I see live action.
Yeah.
That might be pretty alright.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen Fern Gully. I'm surprised that we haven't seen Flight of the Navigator. I'm also surprised that we haven't seen The Neverending Story. I keep thinking like eventually
you can't remake The Neverending Story,
dude.
Well, they made sequels and they just all sucked.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Right. You know, but yeah, you shouldn't remake The Neverending Story, but I think it's only a matter of time before we see it.
I've heard sorry.
That movie's perfect as it is.
I mean, it really is.
I agree.
It
Yeah,
really, really is.
Yeah.
You know,
lightning
but
in a bottle right there. I don't think
but
you're going to be able to
that
recapture
never
that.
stops. Movie studios.
Oh no,
they're just gonna. I still remember what M. Night Shyamalan did to Avatar: The Last Airbender. It was completely unnecessary.
You mean that movie where nobody got wet when
You
they
know,
were hit with water? That's fucking wild.
when anybody earthbend, they just sent little pebbles.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It was just like,
what's going on here, man?
Why is this
Have you guys seen the trailer for the new M. Night Shyamalan movie?
I have not.
No, I saw it, and I'm always hesitant to watch those things. Because the trailers always look really good.
Yeah.
Good
You know,
point.
and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna
Did
go
you watch
The Village.
the trilogy, the Unbreakable trilogy?
I have not seen Glass.
Dude,
Yeah, Split was amazing.
Alright.
Yeah, I liked Unbreakable.
Glass isn't as good as Split,
No, not at all.
but Glass is still great.
Right.
Glass is all right.
Huh.
Man, the visual I don't know, man. The visual direction in Glass is so good.
The
It's so good.
cinematography is solid,
Yeah.
but that's the thing is just like Shyamalan's always had a good eye, or like whoever he has as his cameraman, as a cinematographer, has always had a good eye for getting the shots pretty well right.
Devil,
You know?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Devil's good.
Yeah.
The toast landed butter side down. That's how you test for devils.
It's a devil. Only a devil would mar this toast with dirt.
Damn you, devil!
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna watch Old. It looks okay.
Yeah.
We'll see though, because I think you're right. His trailers lie.
Yeah,
Trailers
they
do
always
lie.
give you this weird idea of like amazing depth, and it's like, oh, and here comes the curveball, and it's like, oh, we're just kind of living today.
Yeah.
Y'all are just right off the interstate, but y'all didn't seem to notice that there are all these cars.
Yeah.
It'd be like that sometimes. It'd be like that.
You didn't hear fucking honking and wonder what the hell that was? That ain't geese. Okay.
Yeah, but the village elder told me it was geese.
That's
It's
right.
like, we just thought it was geese.
We just accepted it.
Have you ever seen a goose? No.
Close this. I think that might be fucking up our stream.
Mm.
I'm just gonna make it where we're not
And
monitoring
if nothing
that.
else
Yeah.
is fucking up your mind.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's the same reason I tell Robbie to turn that
This
frame
show
counter
fucks
off on his fucking
with
PC.
minds.
He puts that frame counter up in the corner, and as soon as it says
says
59,
dips,
he's like,
like,
oh my god, I can't have 59 frames per
unplayable."
second. What the fuck?
I love you, my dude.
Sam, that's awesome.
We love you, Robbie.
Yeah, I love you, Robbie.
That's right.
You do be doing that shit.
Turn that frames counter off.
That's-
Turn that frames counter off.
I learned to enjoy things.
That's right.
We just figured it out. Look, we're enjoying it already. I'm not
Exactly,
even
dude.
seeing that 10
Out of sight, out of mind.
errors.
Oh,
I don't
good.
even know about
Don't
that
even
right
know
now.
about it.
I don't know what's going on over there. So, okay, Scott, you almost didn't want me to talk about this because you
What?
put this in rumor territory.
Oh, well, because I'm just so used to it being rumors at this point.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Nintendo Switch Pro.
Yeah, a Switch Pro.
The stuff that's been there's been a lot of leaks and like confirmed, like, I guess listings for different retailers in different parts of the world. I don't think that the US has a listing anywhere yet.
No, and there's parts manufacturers that are talking about having big orders from Nintendo.
I mean, it
There's,
looks
you
like
know,
they have like even like pictures of what it could potentially.
Those are bullshit.
I'm pretty sure.
Those-
okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's-
Anytime
they do
you
that with
see
any
a
console.
yeah, before
Yeah.
it comes out, what people do is they basically make these test renders and they make them look as official as possible. Sometimes they'll even go as far as getting proper logos
Yeah.
and making a trailer for the shit.
Yeah,
a whole
see,
trailer.
that's where-
they did
that's-
that with PSVR too.
Yeah,
and
they did.
that's
Yeah,
where
they did.
I'm still like.
And that one looked cool, but
It looked really cool,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
But it
well,
ain't real.
because
it's not real.
well, and the reason again, another reason why I'm like kind of pretty hesitant to consider this like an actual like leak or rather than just a rumor and speculation, or honestly nothing more than a scam. Because that's been the case with all the other ones. Like, you'll see a listing and you'll have like the option to pre-order, but I mean, Nintendo hasn't said anything about it.
Yeah, but
You know,
Nintendo's
like-
loving this free publicity.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
are
Well,
absolutely
even if
loving
they're
it. And
not going to put out a Switch Pro anytime soon, or ever, they're still getting eyes on their products. So I mean, they don't care.
Well, it's
you
one of
know?
those situations, kind of like what happened with the Dreamcast, right? Like
Yeah.
the Dreamcast over here, a magnificent specimen of hardware. But due to the fact that everybody's just like, yeah, but PS2 is going to be coming out. It's like, okay, that's not
got a
coming out for a
DVD
couple of
player.
years, right?
Yeah,
But we still have
pretty much.
years before that. But people are still clutching their purses, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to wait for this thing.
Yeah.
A lot of Nintendo fans are very diehard, right? It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, for real. And,
Yeah.
Myself, I love Nintendo.
Yeah.
Anytime they have a new console, I'm going to pick it up, even though I know how it's going to go. It goes the same way every time.
Yep.
But I'm going to do it. So right now, since people are having such a hard time still getting a PS5, that's going to be continuing for the next year,
Yeah.
year and a half.
And the Xbox
And the Series X,
Series
exactly
X,
the same
yeah.
way. If you have the promise of a new Nintendo console on the horizon, then people start looking in that direction instead. Everybody's already getting frustrated that they haven't been able to get this console. Like, oh my God, my parents gave me an IOU for Christmas, and it's June, man. Give me something. So it's like, okay,
Right.
well, here's something that's not quite as powerful as that, but it's a new Nintendo console.
Right, exactly.
We'll take it whenever it comes out. So I think that Nintendo, I mean, they're smart, man. They know what they're doing. It's just
Yeah.
like, okay, let people build up this hype.
Yeah.
you
Might
know?
as well,
And then
and-
when we drop the bomb, I mean, everybody's gonna pick up our shit as long as it's available.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. As
Well,
long
like-
as you can get it.
Well, like 6 months ago, when people, of course, still can't get, PS5s, Xboxes,
Yeah.
and Oculus Quest 2s were available.
They were readily available.
People were just
In
buying those because they're like,
abundance.
well, I want a new thing.
Exactly.
I'm going to get
Yeah.
this new thing.
Right.
And if
Might as
Nintendo
well.
does that now, in a couple of months, and before the chip stock actually gets back in, then yeah, you're completely right. People are going to go, well, it's the new thing. I'm going to buy that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It really, really is.
Also, E3 is next week.
Oh, okay.
yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Next-
we're
next
gonna
week?
have to.
Next week. Maybe week after that. It's soon.
We'll figure
E3
it
is
out.
soon.
We're probably gonna cover. We're probably gonna cover a good bit of that. So
yeah. I mean, I'm sure that they'll have something that I want to talk about, and
at least one thing.
maybe
well, I mean,
Elden
I
Ring.
feel like a lot of people pulled out of E3 this year.
A lot of them.
Yeah,
They're doing
and
private
so-
events and shit.
Yeah.
Like Bethesda's doing a private event.
Yeah,
well, they
Sony's doing a private.
Well,
event.
and
It's like-
Nintendo's been doing that for a while. They
yeah.
barely even show their face at E3 most of the time.
Capcom's doing their own events.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah. I mean, that makes more sense because
even if the companies do show up at E3, they're gonna still probably do their own events, and it won't be like, I doubt they're gonna save any of the big bombs for E3 at this point.
Man, so E3 is just gonna be a lackluster like trailer
reel. Maybe it'll turn back into what it originally was, which is like not just this big, con for like fans and stuff
More
like
like
that. It'll be
CES.
it'll be more of a like what is it, like a corporate convention,
a trade show.
It'll be
an actual trade show.
It'll be an actual trade show again, because that's what it was. That's what it was
but
originally.
I wonder if they have that ability to take that back step and still profit.
Yeah.
Once you remove all of these big gaming developers from their portfolio, it's like, what else you got?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they pull
they
out
have
of their
left
asses this year.
is booth babes.
Right. Well, do they? Because is this actually going to be taking place physically, or is this all digital?
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it is physical. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is all these private events that these companies are having, they're not doing physical events, they're doing streams.
Exactly.
And that's so much easier for them to deal
It's
with.
so
they don't
much
have to pay
easier,
for all
it's
this
so
fucking
much
overhead.
cheaper. Yeah.
It's like they can just give you a link to the Booth Babes OnlyFans.
Yeah, there you go.
Hit them up. They do cosplay.
That's right.
Cosplay is whatever you want.
Yeah, that's it, man. Man. I don't know. We'll see what's going on with the Switch Pro thing. I think that if they do the right upgrades for it, like, if you have a higher res screen on the handheld, it maybe has 4K output in docked mode.
Yeah, they have those fucking grips on the
better Joy-Cons.
Better Joy-Cons. Fix the drift issue. God
that's
damn.
not happening.
It's not happening. Right?
Yeah.
They'd have to completely redesign those things, and that's the biggest problem for me, is that I bought a Switch Pro at launch, or a Switch at launch.
Yeah.
I spent probably about $1,500 within the first month on everything
just-
getting decked
yeah.
out. Right, buying games for the third time, Mario Kart 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, it drives me crazy. And I loved the console for a while. I ended up subsequently selling it because I don't play on the go. If I'm out and about, I'm doing stuff. I don't just sit in my car to play my Switch. Now, some people have the time to do that, right? And that works out very well.
I don't really take it unless I'm like, I know I'm going to be waiting somewhere.
Right.
That's really
I'm just never waiting somewhere. And that's the whole thing. Like, I used to, I used to, when I had my PSP, like, way back in the day, I'd go and just park somewhere and play Luminous for hours. It just felt good.
Yeah.
Plug it into my car's like stereo and just jam out and vibe on some Luminous.
Alpha 3 Max, dude.
No, absolutely, dude. It was a good time. But I just never find the time. Like, I don't really game on my phone because I just don't have that time. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird for me. Even if they did put out a Switch Pro, I don't know that I would reinvest. Like, because as far as software, the software just isn't there to necessitate a $300-400 purchase. Like, there's
dude, especially if you already have a Switch.
Yeah, if you already have a Switch, and that's the thing.
So that's the hard thing for me. Some people will buy it just like iPhones every year, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna buy it because it's the newest thing on the market. They want to be seen with it. They want to have it. Do I think that it would be awesome to have and to look at? Yeah, I do.
Absolutely,
I do. Do I also think that I would probably use it for a few months and then not really use it much after that until exclusives came out?
Yeah.
I know that I wouldn't, and so I don't know. Once again, that's marketed, I think, for parents who are in a game with their kids. They can't get themselves a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, but they do want something that's kind of competitive, because it's still not going to be as powerful as these consoles.
Oh, no, not at all.
That's the thing that we no, because Nintendo does not care about that.
Maybe PS4 Pro level.
Maybe. That's a hard maybe.
That's pushing it, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's going to put some real... They're going to have to put some serious hardware back into...
They'd have to make it thicker. They'd have to,
Totally.
Yeah, which
would...
would...
that battery life, good
It's going to fuck the battery life, exactly. Yeah, there's all these problems,
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what they come out with, but I don't know if it's for me.
It's not for me either. I haven't purchased into it at all.
I'm just gonna have to see it. I'm definitely, if they drop this, I'm definitely not buying it at launch, because I already have a Switch, and the Switch for me is like my primary gaming machine.
Oh,
you
nice.
know, I may not take it out of the dock quite as often as I used to, especially when I first got it, because I used to just walk around.
Yeah.
You know,
Put
but
that thing in your pocket, dude. You know what
That's
I'm
no,
saying?
yeah,
Gotta wear some like old 68-inch cuff kick wears.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
Get you some
Need your trip pants.
no, like
Get
some
your
Jinko,
Jinkos.
yeah, Jinko cargo pants, dude. It's like that's what. But I mean, like I would definitely wait for a little while.
Yeah.
You know, because I could, again, because I already have a Switch. And like I was saying before, I really hope they don't try to split the player base, like with exclusives and stuff like that.
Like the new
Like
new
the
DS.
new 3D, yeah,
New
the new
3DS, that's
yeah,
what I
new
meant, yeah.
3DS when that came out, yeah, it definitely supported all the older games, but eventually they started releasing games that you could only play, yeah, with the DS,
Man,
and I'd hate for them to do that
I
because
think that's what they're gonna end up doing. They're
and
probably,
I'm sure they would do it
Yeah.
eventually. It would probably roll that feature out kind of slow, which would honestly kind of suck for me because I'm just like, well, I already have a Switch. I don't want to have to buy another fucking Switch.
You don't think they might go to the iPhone model of releasing?
The only reason why I don't think that they'll do that is because right now, just due to the weird, shaky state of everything, everything related to gaming, Novid 21, dude, I'm telling you.
Novid.
Due to that, a lot of developers are kind of forced to make cross-platform games. It's like, okay, you know, cross-generation games, you know? And so I'm thinking that what they'll probably do is just hold on to that model. It's just like, okay, well, here's the game. It'll play on your Switch, and that'll be fine. But if
it'll
you play
look
it
better.
on the Switch Pro,
It's better,
we can
yeah.
play it at 60 frames per second,
Right.
you know, because people will choose frame rate versus graphical fidelity.
Yeah,
right?
and I get that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I guess at least for me personally, I'm not that worried about like frame rate and graphics and stuff like just because something's prettier doesn't really. I'm way more of a mechanics and game feel guy.
But sometimes
You know what I mean?
frame rate directly has to do with mechanics.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. But at this point, I mean, there's not really that much of a difference between what, like, at least in my
Between 30 and
experience.
60?
Especially with the games
I
that
don't know,
I
man.
personally play.
Like, for instance, a game like
Spider-Man.
Last of Us 2, right?
Spider-Man.
I've been playing Last of Us 2 with the PS5 patch.
Yeah.
Shooting at 60 frames per second in that game actually makes you, accurate.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. The shooting's good?
Yeah.
Dude, it's better.
No.
It's better. It's significantly better.
Yeah,
like,
but
I'm getting them
impossible.
headshots,
That's
dude.
just ass shooting. You're just part of the game.
Yeah.
It is ass
You
shooting.
still
You're right.
expect
Yeah.
that, yes.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm
is
saying
ass,
is
right.
I don't
You
think
put a bottle in
400
Go for
Goal.
stabbing.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm talking about. Like when she sneaks up behind that one girl sitting there playing on her PSP, and she
That's
just
a
stabs-
Vita.
It is a Vita.
That's a Vita.
My bad. It was a Vita. Let me correct myself.
Right.
Yeah, and she just like puts her blade in behind her jugular and just pluck.
Oh,
It's just
dude.
Like why?
They're
Why are
so
you doing
brutal.
this?
And then they have the gurgles once you get slit a throat.
Oh yeah, and then somebody calls them by name.
Well,
You know?
so anyway,
Sorry.
back to the whole cross-platform thing.
Yeah.
They've just recently announced that there are some PS5 titles that were supposed to be exclusives that are now going to be compatible with the PS4.
They have to.
Yeah,
They have to.
About to
Yeah,
say
there's no-
they just
there's no
don't have
choice.
the player base because no one has a fucking PS5.
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
Yeah.
But people are fucking complaining about this. I don't understand
Who is complaining?
just some bitches on the internet. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
bitch ass motherfuckers on the internet.
And that's what they do.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just
They do,
complaints.
full time.
It's salt.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, if you don't have this console, then you have this opportunity to play a game now. After Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
I could see how people might be a little nervous.
Yeah,
you know?
because the last gen version of that, especially on base
That was the
consoles,
problem.
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah, that was the problem. They didn't expect. I truly believe that they didn't expect so many people to be still playing last
PS4,
gen.
yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then they're like, okay, well, we're gonna focus on next gen, and everyone's gonna have one, and everyone's gonna play our game, and then those few people will play on previous gen, and we're just gonna be like, ha ha, you need to upgrade, right? And then it's
Yeah.
like
Force them to
nah.
upgrade,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly. It's like, no, that's not actually how it worked out.
Yeah.
But for every failure like that, actually, I'd say for every failure like that, you have like 3-4 success stories. Resident
Easily.
Evil 8.
Resident Evil 8's
You
great
know?
across all platforms.
It
You're
is
playing on a base
absolutely
PS4, right?
Yeah, I'm playing on a
Beautiful.
base PS4 and
Yeah.
it still looks great.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it can be done. I think it makes the developer's job a lot more difficult.
Well, yeah.
because-
Well, you got to think about it, dude. When they're doing like cross-platform, non-exclusives, they basically have to develop for the lowest common denominator.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a that's just a standard practice in game development. If you're putting it on multiple consoles, you have to look at the weakest console and literally develop it for that, and then kind of res up at from there.
That's what's happened with Final Fantasy 14. They started off on PS3. PS3, PC, then moved on to PS4, and now that we're in PS5 era, they're like, okay, well, we have to stop supporting PS3 because this is going to actually handicap our forward momentum. It's like,
so what happens to that player base? That's
it's time to grow up. Baby.
you know what
I'm saying?
It is 2 generations
I'm
ago.
Sorry, dude. It's like, dude, I get it. That was like 7, almost 8 years ago, bro. It's
PS4s are cheap. You can go grab one.
Yeah.
You can. I mean, I still have my PS3.
Yeah,
I do too. I have mine too. Exactly. But however, looking at Final Fantasy 14 on my 3 versus looking at it on my 5.
Oh
yeah.
I'm just like, oh no, exactly right. And so,
hey, so what's up with
because you can't even really. I'm sorry. I'm just going to close on this one, but. Like there are certain things called hunts, right?
You totally.
Have a
like in 12,
notorious monster, exactly, right? However, there are ranks, A rank, B rank, S rank monsters. Every once in a while, they'll have what are called hunt trains because these things all spawn around at the same time. So you gather up with a whole bunch of people, you go to different areas, and you hunt these monsters down.
Cool.
Now,
that sounds great.
It is. It's a lot of fun, and especially when it's really popping, dude. And you got 50, 60, 70 mounts. All going the same direction, I always imagine being that little guy who's just leveling his character or over there mining,
and the war brigade
goes by. All of a sudden, the war brigade's just like, what is that? They don't even have flight yet, So
I'm being repressed.
I'm being help! I'm being repressed. But
come see the violence inherent in the system,
bloody peasant. But no, I mean it's really tough if you're playing on those old consoles because you don't have time to teleport with the group. By the time you teleport to wherever the hunt train is, it's already left you. You know what I'm saying? So if you're still playing on that archaic hardware, then your experience is shot anyway.
You really think about that. Your load times fuck you
over. Absolutely.
Completely.
Wow,
You know what I'm saying? You got folks rocking SSDs over here. You know what I'm saying? And so it is. It's a complete game changer. And so it's very difficult to know when that time is to just say like, come on, guys. Like,
well, and I mean,
it's on you to grow up.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like. Companies stopped supporting older player bases eventually anyway. So I mean it was absolutely an inevitability.
Yeah.
Even though they tried to drop that PS3 eShop.
They did try to drop that
not play. People
were
like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you also had a bunch of people that just went online and bought a bunch of shit.
Right.
I didn't buy a bunch of shit, but I went on and bought a couple of games that I can't get anywhere. Because, for instance, I've been wanting a physical copy of God Hand for years. You know? I don't know why I got rid of the one that I had forever ago. I feel like an asshole.
I'll get it.
What'd you have, a stroke?
I'll get it later. Yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah. And then, I realized how much I fucked up. But that's one of the ones I got. What's the name of that game? It's Zoldner X2. Did you ever play Zoldner X2?
No.
It's a cool German shmup. Yeah, absolutely. It's dope. Himmelstürmer, I think, is the...
Himmelstürmer.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you got to have those German names for the shmups, man. Einhander.
Einhander was so good.
Einhander is also a boss in Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, really? That's cool.
They put Einhander in that one.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Dude,
that's
I want a new Einhander.
Oh,
come on,
yeah, for real.
Come on, Square, make something.
Now is the time for shmups, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
really the time.
Dude, hey, this R-Type Final 2, I fucking love.
Have you finished it?
No, it's hard.
Yeah.
But it's fair. That's my point to it. That was the point I was making earlier. It's the fact that it's fair.
Right.
Which I'll get to the problems with the other game I've been playing.
The game that shall not be named.
We'll get there. This chip shortage situation, that's affecting us being able to purchase consoles and being able to purchase new vehicles and so far
just all kinds of shit.
Pretty much everything.
Cards.
Just everything.
Everything.
One of the other problems is that that's hit the PC market super hard.
Right.
Everything's super expensive at this point, especially video cards. And video cards are not only expensive because you can't find them; they're also expensive because as soon as they, get on the market, somebody
Scalpers are on it.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
But it's not just scalpers; it's fucking Ethereum miners.
Oh, heard that. Right.
Yeah.
Well, they're about to change the way Ethereum is mined, where you can't use GPUs anymore.
Oh.
So that's going to do two things. It's going to make GPUs available for people, like just MSRP available, which is amazing.
Yeah, because people aren't just buying them up to have a bunch of them stacked together.
Or to resell them for twice as much because they know an Ethereum miner is going to buy it, right?
Right.
And also, there's going to be a bunch of used video cards hitting the market. So if you've been looking for a video card, I don't know if my brother's watching this or not, but he recently purchased a 5700 XT, an AMD card. Right?
Yeah.
I think he spent whatever the list price was on it. I want to say that's around $500. I could be wrong. He told me he could flip that thing for like $1,200-$1,300.
I'm like, why is it not flipped already?
He already bought him another card because he's selling the first one, and he got a better card for it.
See, it's a whole catch-22 situation, right? Because here we are lambasting all these scalpers that have picked up, extra consoles and sold them and done these things on their own dime. But then there's an opportunity such as this, and it's like, okay, is there a limit before I'm an asshole? If I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy 3 extra and just flip 3, and then I'm not an asshole, right? If I go to 4, then I'm a dick.
Asshole.
Absolutely, right?
4's the asshole limit,
right? Because right now, like, people are like, fuck scalpers, right? Like, just hands off. I mean, as well it should be in this situation.
I was about to say, I've said that multiple times.
If it wasn't for scalpers, I would have never seen Prince. You know what I'm saying? Like, in some ways, absolutely right.
Okay.
And so I think about it in a lot of different ways. I'm like, okay, well, it does suck when you're talking about bots just snatching shit up. Like, that blows. You know what I'm saying? When you when you're actually able to go in, buy like 3 of a console because you got the money for it, boom, mark out of the store, whatever, you earned it. If it's a bot that gets to all this stuff before a human can even physically potentially have a chance, then I think it kind of sucks. But I don't know if you can just be like, oh, hey guys, I have 2 extra PS5s. Who wants to buy one? And everybody would be like, oh no, fuck you. It's like, you're the problem. You should donate those to me. You should give me one.
You can give me what I paid for it. That's not a problem. We're friends.
I guess it's a free market.
Like, I could see somebody doing that.
It's kind of it's just a delicate
because that's the thing. It's supply and demand, right? If people are paying the money for them, then why wouldn't people sell them for that amount?
Right.
Exactly.
Can you really hate on somebody that's able to make that money?
I mean, I can.
You can if you don't have a console. If you want that PS5,
I mean, I can.
Then you can. But usually, if you have the PS5, you're like,
whatever.
I thought about getting 2 more myself. I really actually did. I thought about it. Just for friends. Or,
exactly. Yeah, you get them and you go, hey, man, I got another one. I know you wanted one. Why don't you just pay me? Yeah,
right.
Exactly. I secured one for you.
Right.
But that's not exactly scalping. That's a different thing.
That's not really
that's a different thing. I mean, this friend could be a Facebook friend.
They could, absolutely.
Which means that all of a sudden we're going up to like $600, $700, $800.
Oh yeah,
you never know. Like,
but you're not going to charge them like.
How'd you even end up on my friends list?
Man,
who are you?
I had a buddy that worked at GameStop.
Look at your ass every day.
Oh yeah. So I had a friend that worked at GameStop during the 360 launch, right? And he was a manager. And he did something he wasn't supposed to do because he bought like 4 360s when they came out. Yeah. And back then, GameStop wasn't as tight on that kind of shit going on. They weren't as tight.
Right.
As tight,
And because he was I don't think he was... Yeah, I mean, I guess he was the biggest manager at that store. I don't know what that is. Head manager? GM? Yeah, he was the GM. So, yeah, he got away with it. His district manager didn't know about this shit.
Right. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
It's sales. It's sales of consoles. But he sold every one of those for at least double.
Right.
You know? But I got one off him for list because he was my friend. So it was that situation. He kind of did both.
Yeah, I was working at Best Buy for that launch. Yeah. And this Russian gentleman who actually has an exporter business called me. He's just like, if you hold me 3 consoles, I'll buy you 1. So I'm like, bet.
Oh.
Yeah. All I did was we had them stacked up into a tower, and all I did was I put a stack of 4 tucked close to me. That's it. He came and he picked him up.
You just stood next to him?
I just stood next to him. I'm like,
Sentry.
Doing my own shit. I'm talking to guests and everything, and like, handing people consoles.
Were you like, well, let me help you take those out to the car? Hey, my car's over here.
Well, I helped them get them to checkout.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm just like, all right, well, I'll see you after work. You know what I'm
Cool.
saying? I've known him
Yeah.
for years. Like,
Oh, okay,
he's always shopped with me.
Yeah.
And so, my very first Xbox 360 came for free.
Nice.
Oh,
And
nice.
it didn't work out of the box.
Oh,
You know,
dude.
like,
Oh, instant
Yeah,
rendering.
Instant well, no. It was my GPU, man. So I was sitting there trying to play like Dead or Alive, and all these flat polys are just like coming out of the screen. And I'm like, this can't be real. And I'm sitting there trying to play, what was it? Was it Quake? Was Quake the launch shooter? There was a
Quake
first-person
4.
shooter. Was it Quake
Yeah,
4?
Quake 4,
Yeah,
totally.
I tried to play that. I could play for usually about 3 minutes before it would just freeze. You know,
Man, Quake
And
4 was
so,
dope.
I'm glad that you were able to enjoy it.
I loved that game.
Yeah, I tried to.
Yeah, but
Consoles at
polygons all over the place.
We're not doing this.
Is it
Yeah.
did do that thing where like they got sharp and it's like they went to infinity, like that kind of thing?
Yeah. Right.
That's
such a
terrible.
weird
I'm
one.
just like, God,
Yeah.
that sucks. Because
Man.
I played DOA 4 around it. I did not care.
Right.
You
man.
know?
Dude, I was I think I was at Circuit City when the three
Old
Circuit City?
old Circuit
Which
City.
Circuit
That's
City?
old school.
The one
one over in Hoover.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
standalone store.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And like I think when the 360 launched, they showed us a video of the Xbox launch, the original Xbox, and it was a video of this dude who took an Xbox, and there was a crowd of people just out. It was before they opened the gates.
People get hype
Dude,
about
and
system
he
launches.
was dancing around in front of them.
Did he
Like,
drop it?
no.
Okay.
No. What happened was he was just kind of dancing around with them, like, you bet y'all want this Xbox.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
That's a bad
doing
idea.
that shit, and they opened the doors on him, and the crowd just mauled over him.
Oh, that's
Like,
great.
and they were just like, guys, don't do this.
Right,
Like,
seriously.
so it was just like, whoa, okay, yeah,
asshole.
definitely don't be a dick.
Even though I do approve of the instant karma.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
totally.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. I was glad I
That's-
saw
that's
that.
great.
Yeah.
I was hoping the story didn't end like, somebody just came and robbed him, like.
No.
But if
He
he got stampeded.
he got
that's good, 'cause
stampeded.
you get so many reminders of how many
Yeah,
much an
how
asshole
much
you are,
exactly.
Right? You know, just,
Oh no, this was a bad idea.
yeah, right. You just gotta go fetal. Then it's like, where's my Xbox? And I'm sure by the time you get up, it's gone.
Yeah, it's got no.
You know
Someone
somebody
snatched that
picked
shit
it
off
up.
immediately.
I watched a manager get tackled into a stack of PS3s, I think,
Oh,
over Black Friday when I
That'll
worked
do
at
it.
Walmart.
Wow.
Yeah, he was standing in front of him, and he wasn't being that guy at all.
No.
But he was totally being like, all right, everybody wait your turn one at a time. He was trying to crowd control.
Right.
And the crowd didn't give a shit.
Right.
No,
No.
dude. Of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody just went boom.
I'd
and
quit that job, dude. I wouldn't even do it. I wouldn't even do it. Nope.
Man.
You know,
I liked working Black Friday because you really can't do much those days. There's not much to do. You're really just watching the
I liked
chaos.
being-
hated Black
Yeah.
I hated working Black Friday, but I didn't mind it if I was the gopher.
That's what I was. I
You
was
know?
the gopher. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
I was assistant manager
Oh,
at EB Games.
Yeah,
so
dude.
I would have to go in, okay, so you have Thanksgiving dinner with your family.
Yeah.
Everybody's having a great time. They're sipping. About 9 o'clock p.m., I got to go, right? So
Right.
I'm already mad. I'm already seething. And then I go to the Galleria, and we ended up having Davy Jones
Yep.
from the Monkees
Uh,
performing.
what?
And he performed. Yeah, man. I don't know whose idea this was. So he's in the food court. We're right there above the food court. He plays all day. Like, this dude never stopped. Like, it went on for about a good, because I was there for about 22 hours.
Yeah.
Say,
He played the
hey,
whole-
I'm the monkeys.
Hey, I'm
People
the
say I
monkey.
monkey around.
People say they don't say much about me.
They don't say much about me. Do people even know who I am?
You know, for real. If I didn't hate him so much, I wouldn't have known who
Oh,
Davy
yeah,
Jones was.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
This motherfucker.
This monkey mouth motherfucker.
Yeah.
Go back to Davy Jones' locker.
Did he have a
All
twink?
right.
Did he have the trademark twinkle in his eyes?
I didn't know. I was seeing red. I did. I drank a red line for the first time, and that
Oh, man.
I was already
Yeah.
geeking out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Got the twitches on
It
everything.
was, it was rough, man. It was rough.
Man,
Anyway.
hey, have you guys heard about this Sonic collection coming out?
Yes.
Did
Wait,
you-
I thought it was the Sonic Colors.
The Sonic Colors is coming out.
Right, yes.
Right, they're
as
re-releasing
well,
colors.
but they're also doing like a collection of
Yeah.
like some classic
Of
Sonic.
Which ones?
1, 2, 3 Knuckles, and
good.
then I think Blast maybe, or
Sonic-
another.
it's-
There's another
it's
one.
Sonic Blast. Man,
I don't remember what
I
the
would
other
be
one is.
I would be surprised if it isn't Sonic 3D.
It's something
Or
else.
Sonic
But it's
Speed.
Sonic
definitely,
Adventure.
It's
It is
definitely
Sonic
those
Adventure
four.
on that
Well,
bitch.
check this out though, man. For all these 2D games, they are making it widescreen, and they're not stretching it. They're allowing the screen to render all the way to the edges. So this is the first time that we'll get a widescreen format version of these original titles, which will actually change the gameplay because you'll be able to see stuff before you hit it.
Yeah.
Because especially in the
Which makes
first
the game
one,
so much easier.
it would make the game a lot easier.
Make
yeah,
the game a lot
but
easier and a lot more accessible.
It's prohibitively hard, especially the first game is for people that weren't used to the way Sonic works. You know,
so is Mario. Like we love to think about Mario and how iconic the characters are and how bright and colorful and fun. Those games are brutal.
they're so
they are.
brutal,
They're
dude.
brutal, you know,
Yeah.
like especially when you start getting into like Super Mario 3. You know,
dude, I love Super Mario 3.
it's such a great game,
Love
but that
Super Mario.
that game is hard,
That
bro.
that game can beat you down pretty heavy.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so it's like I don't know if we really need to diminish challenge. That's why, like, you know, when I was watching you play Ghosts and
You can
Goblins,
choose it. You can choose it.
you know, I'm sitting there just like, okay, well, this really sucks. You know, but at the same time, it's like I'm kind of glad that we're starting to get more challenging games currently. I feel like for a long time there, gaming was, I mean, every game wanted to hold your hand, right? Every game wanted to make everyone a winner, you know? And it's like, that's cool and all, but, you know, I'm an NES era kid, right? I'm Sega Genesis era kid. And so I'm used to suffering. Like that's just that's what it is.
You grit your teeth, you deal with it.
You deal with it because it's the only game that you're gonna get.
That's right.
And so
For
like,
a while. Yeah.
Exactly. You're like, you better learn it.
And eventually you get through Gunsmoke. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny you bring up, like, you know, the difficulty that we had as a kid and how we would just we got one game and that was probably the only game you were going to get for a long time. Back in my day.
We only had one game and we liked it anyway.
And it was gold.
And it had a switch on the back that I don't know what the fuck it did. You flip it sometimes when it doesn't work. I don't know.
Used to walk uphill both ways just to get to KB Toys.
No, I did. They always put them on top of the hill. I don't know.
I don't know why they always
always on a fucking hill. Every time.
Seriously.
But no, what I was saying is
Jeffrey's
just
already
like,
tall enough, man.
now that we are and there is a larger influx of older gamers, I think you know, there is that idea of, well, people don't have a lot of time to sit and learn games anymore. At least that demographic of the player base.
I mean,
so
R-Type Final, it's hard as shit. It's fair though, and you have to learn the game step by step. Every corner, every enemy, every move the boss makes, where the lasers pop out, where the things spawn. You have to memorize this shit.
Right.
But that's not a bad thing.
No. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No.
I feel like difficulty in games is kind of subjective, honestly.
It is, yeah.
You know.
Do you guys know who Alana Pierce is? She used to be an IGN editor.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Australian girl.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Alana Pierce is awesome. She was talking about something the other day. She's a big advocate of accessibility options in games, especially for disabled people.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like,
Last of Us 2 blew that out of the water. They
Absolutely.
took it to a whole different level.
and do you guys see like the Xbox accessibility controller that they made for the 360? It's like a big block, and you can plug in whatever you want. So if you need if you need big touch pads because you like don't have fingers, or, you know, instead you can use these. You can set up buttons, you can set up foot pedals, you can set up whatever you need to have the buttons to play the game.
That's cool.
Which is cool.
The thing is, you know, she was saying that she gets this flack when she talks about accessibility in games. In that people are saying you don't need to dumb down my game just because of this. It's like, hey, don't make my game easier just because of this. And she said this very clearly. It has nothing to do with the difficulty in the game.
No.
This has to do with, can this person play this
play
difficult
the game? Yeah,
well, they still want to play difficult games too. They just need the accessibility to be able to.
But these are also options. Like these are things that you don't have to activate. You don't have to turn them on yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like colorblind mode, right? It's like, okay, well, I'm not colorblind. It's like, okay, well, don't turn it on.
Don't turn it on.
Well, and that's
what gets me about, like, as far as like when people talk about difficulty in game, whether or not there should be a casual or an easy mode or like a you know, different tiers and stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't matter. Put it in or don't put it in. And if you don't want to play it on an easier, you know, difficulty, then don't play it on an easier difficulty. It's literally you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, people just love to gatekeep, man. And I mean,
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. It's like, people want to be like, there shouldn't be a casual, for Souls, there shouldn't be a casual mode for somebody who just wants to play through the game. Absolutely not, because I want to be able to gloat in their face. Right. And let them know that I finished the game and they can't do it.
You experienced a hollow victory.
That's good.
And that's kind of bullshit and prohibitive, like you're saying.
It is. However, on the flip side of that coin, not everything's for everyone.
No, indeed.
Most people don't need to play Ninja Gaiden 2.
Right.
Pretty
Most
much.
people didn't want to play Ninja Gaiden 1,
Yeah,
man. Well, that was another situation. Sold that to a lot of people. They brought that shit back. They were like,
well,
this is too much.
Not everything's for everyone, and not everybody has to play everything.
Right.
Well, and I think that's up to the developers and the publishers to understand their audience.
Okay, now that leads to another. Well, I guess we can talk about this later. But at what point is it positive? At what point is it negative, rather, to have too much fan involvement in development? We're at a point right now where people's voices are so loud before a piece of software even hits the market,
right?
That piece of software gets altered and altered.
Continuously changed.
Right,
yeah,
exactly. Guilty Gear Strive,
right.
In question. The beta comes out. People are like, okay, the beta's cool except for this, that, and the other. We hate the lobbies. We hate jump-ins. They're too strong. We hate this, that. So they're like, okay, well, we'll tweak those things.
And then
right. Well, he wasn't in there then, but then they added him for the second beta that was extra wonk, and now you got Angie to deal with.
Well,
too,
you think about it, it's just like there's so much that goes into coding all of this, and that's such an interest. Like most of the time, those are such intricate systems. You change one thing, you end up breaking 10 other things.
But you don't
that
know,
came
like
before it,
Tommy, like Two Tongues on Reddit.
Right.
He knows about all of game development. He makes games all the time, except for he doesn't do shit but comment about games. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I feel like sometimes I fucking hate you, Tommy Two Tongues. I do think that it's a bit much. We're at a point right now where devs want that kind of transparency with their audience. You want it, and it should be a positive thing.
Right.
And it should be great for growth. However, when people are so quick to form a hate train, remember what happened with The Last of Us 2 before it even came out? They're like, 2.3 on Metacritic, and I'm like, excuse me?
You haven't even played
it. Are we looking at the same thing? People are like, this is the worst game I've ever played in my life. I'm
this
like,
is the worst game
this
you've
is
ever
the
played?
worst game you've ever played.
Really?
Like, you lead a charmed life.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I wish I could be you, man.
Dude, I wish that was the worst game I ever played.
God, really? That's it? So I just think it's weird. So I mean, that beta comes out, people give their input. Then they change things, right? That second beta comes out. People are like, oh, I hate this. People cancel their pre-orders. All these other things. So now they have to tweak it again. And it's just like, well, at some point, maybe you should just put your game out.
Yeah.
And just, like, seriously be like, guys, all right, we hear you. We'll address these things in the future. Here's what we're doing, though.
Yeah.
And here it is. It's kind of like with Returnal. Like, I really respect the way that they handle the situation where everybody's like, okay, you need to put save points in. Do I think they should? Yeah,
Probably.
Kind of. Yeah, it would be helpful.
Especially if it's like a one-time use save point.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all they have to do. Yeah. Just one time, and once you load it up, it's deleted.
Let me go get dinner and come back, goddammit.
Right,
I gotta go do life
These
things.
kids, man, they want to watch Frozen again, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do about that, And so, but at the same time, they're like, well,
Elsa.
dude, whatever. Frozen's lit, dude.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it.
Really?
No, I haven't seen
that movie's
Frozen.
lit, bro.
Oh, yeah?
It's really good. Anyway, we're not gonna.
We're not talking about Frozen here.
Right. But it is. It's just we're in this delicate situation where it's like it's almost like dream come true, right? Where everyone can almost have a hand in the developmental process of these IPs that we really love. But what are people actually doing?
Too many cooks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
About to say, it kind of gets to that whole point of like a lot of people don't know what they want until they have it.
Yeah.
And then when they stop playing it because they've altered it so much that it's not even close to what the developers
well,
really
that's
wanted.
the thing too. It's just like you ask somebody what they want. What are they going to say? They're going to say something that they know they've already experienced.
Yeah.
Right.
So how are you going to innovate? How are you going to wow people again? I feel like that's why a lot of games at least
trying
in
to
my opinion,
recapture the magic.
tend to be pretty underwhelming after a while.
God, we're going
you know?
straight to that nostalgia thing. I mean,
Yeah,
that's literally
that's where we're at,
that's
man.
literally
Yeah.
what it is. You know,
it's
literally,
predatory nostalgia.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
You know, but then you have, because I really believe that Arc System Works wants to create something new and unique
I don't
that
think
people can all enjoy on a similar level. They don't want legacy knowledge to dictate, you know, to gatekeep new players, you know.
Absolutely.
While all of us who have been playing Guilty Gear for the past, 16 years, we love to gatekeep. It's like, my Zato 1 has been in training for a long fucking time. You don't want it with them, you know. But then they're like, nah, man, Zato's different. And it's like, okay, so this is kind of weird.
Yeah,
Anji, they took some things away, but I was still putting the things that I'm used to doing with Anji in, and they were working.
He's cheap.
Yeah,
you know. So I mean, it's just one of those situations where I'm a roasted. No, I love Anji Meets him. I really do. But it's one of those situations where, you know, like either I would like to say that we should pick our spots as consumers, as fans.
Right.
We should pick our spots, but that's not what's going to happen. No. It's not going to happen. It's only going to get worse. People's voices are just going to get louder and louder and louder. So that means it's up to the devs to, at some point, just put that wall up. You know, be like, okay, guys, well, we hear you, you know,
and
but
try not to exist in an echo chamber.
Exactly.
Which the FGC kind of becomes very quickly.
Oh man, so fast.
You know,
so fast. And some of the games that we really celebrate, or like I said, this new FGC is not really my favorite. But I'm FGC at heart, so I love y'all regardless.
Everybody wants to lean on NetherRealm and Smash, and disappointment.
Disappointed.
You know. But it's interesting to see what actually happens when we have our fingers in the pot. And how difficult that can make it for gaming developers. You know, how hard we can make their jobs when we don't want to pay more money for a game, you know, but we do want them to rewrite shit tons of code. You know, it's like, because this doesn't work the way that I feel like it should work. And it's like, well, maybe you should learn something new.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe it should be uncomfortable for a little while so that you can find something different. Because I really don't believe playing something for 2 days gives you the authority to say, hey, this sucks. Like, I don't know these combos. I don't know what's optimal anymore. Like, this isn't the way it should be. It should be this way. Like, it should be plus R all over again. And it's just like, is that?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like,
man.
you're not. You haven't mastered their system. Like, you've approached it from the direction of, you know, the fighting games that you've grown up playing, and it's like, okay, because that was my biggest deal. Playing Strive for the first time, I was trying to play Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
You can't play Guilty Gear.
You gotta play Strive.
You gotta play Strive.
You can't play that air mode like you used to, man.
Oh, no, man. Oh, no. And so it's a different world, you know? It's like, I think it's up to us sometimes to, you know, grow up. It's like, okay, if this is a little uncomfortable, maybe that's exciting.
Yeah, maybe that's a good thing.
Maybe it's a good thing.
And honestly, maybe that, like, again, going back to the accessibility issue, I mean, these changes may potentially bring in a newer crowd of players, you know, which would just grow that fan base.
Don't you want more people to whop on?
I mean, I love sharing shit with like other people. Like, every time I play a game or watch a movie or you know see a show that I think is really good, I'm like chomping at the bit to find somebody. Hey man, have you seen this thing? Hey, you want it? You want to borrow it? Because it's really good.
Yeah.
You know, I like sharing shit. I like having more people to talk to about the things that I like.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's why I do this fucking podcast. Right?
Yeah. Well, you know, you mentioned this before. It's also, who are these games for?
Right.
You know, are they for us or are they for the new crowd? It sounds like with Strive, it's for the new crowd. It's not for us.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
But it's not so bad that we can't support it. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that new crowd may go seek out some of the older games, you know, and moving forward, they may put some of those like mechanics and like characters and whatnot from the previous
Strive
game.
version 2
in Strive
or whatever.
version 2 or even in like the next game. There's
Striver.
Striver.
More Strive.
More Striver.
Strivist.
Strivist. I mean, I don't put it past them to do some dumb shit like that. That sounds about right on their naming
They're watching
conventions.
right now like, ooh, that's good.
Striver. Shit, we didn't think of that. It's even Striver than the first one. Yeah.
Right.
Oh man. Okay. But I mean, it's the same way with film, right?
Yeah.
You know, when you're looking at things like, you know, Disney's new Aladdin that really should have never existed.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know, as that person that grew up watching that cartoon, and you know, we We love it. The music is like a part of our souls, you know.
And Robin Williams.
And Robin fucking Williams.
Right.
Will Smith, look, I love you, bro.
Absolutely. You're not Robin Williams.
You're not Robin Williams.
But he
I'm sorry,
knows it.
man.
No,
he knows it.
He does
He
know.
knows
He's
it.
not
He
trying
knows
to
it.
be.
And he's
right?
not trying to be. Yeah.
You know, even though I do,
Well,
I kind of this weird hip hop portrayal thing. It's just
Yeah.
weird. Just as a black dude, I'm just like, it's kind of cringe.
Yeah.
Some of those dances he was doing, I'm like, bro, like stop it.
No.
You know, I can't believe it.
I actually kind of
I'm
think
sure
I
he makes
felt that
money.
way about a lot of the times that Will Smith has put the Big Willie style on
Right.
something. Like, remember Wild Wild West?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
yeah,
that.
man.
You're like,
I love that movie. Great movie.
great movie,
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah,
Kevin
really good.
Klein's awesome in that
Yeah.
movie. I
Hey,
love me some Kevin
But it
Kline,
worked in
man.
Men in Black.
It worked
Just
in
saying.
Men in Black.
Oh yeah, well he had the
Ooh, it
Men in
worked.
Black
Why,
swag.
PD, I
Yeah,
will
he had
knock
that
your
swag.
punk ass down.
You know, it's still kind of gangster a little
Yeah.
bit. You
Yeah.
know, not just that. You know,
I'm a genie. I'm gonna
80s.
incorporate this.
Yeah,
into it.
right.
Yeah.
Like I got linoleum over here.
Right.
Do some old school breakdancing for you. That'd be great. You know, but I do. I feel like, you know, it's like while our nostalgia is being weaponized. All these things are really kind of aimed at our kids, right?
Yeah,
it's
well-
like, okay, like the parent remembers this franchise, so we're gonna go and watch it because we want to see what's going on. But the odds are very likely that we got 2 kids, so we go and watch the Jungle Book, which Jungle Book the remake was phenomenal in my estimation.
That one's good, man.
That one
really
was
good.
pretty good.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
really
come
good.
on, dude. King Louis.
Oh, King. Oh, yeah.
Walking as King Louis.
Yeah,
He
that
wanna
was
be
perfect.
like you.
Great.
That'll be like.
That's the best of the Disney
and I
remakes.
love how
That was the
Mowgli
best.
can't sing.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
That
he
kid
does
cannot sing, but he sings, and I'm just like, respect,
Cool, man.
boy.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I mean, neither can Bill Murray, but he,
Right.
he-
Oh yeah, with,
he sings like a half-drunk lounge singer
yeah,
at
he
the
does.
end of the night.
He
You know,
sings like Bill Murray.
Oh yeah, that's
right.
the same thing.
That's
I
what
forgot.
That's what you
Yeah.
want. That's what you want.
Bill Murray's
Um,
a half-drunk
But
lounge
no,
singer.
yeah.
Is that it?
You watch this.
What is he,
and
Richard
then,
Cheese?
Oh God, then Ka, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude.
God.
Well,
so
think about it
good.
this way,
You
guys.
got me thinking about
Like you have all these people that grew up with like the original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
And when the prequels came out,
Mhm.
you know, everybody was just like, "Ugh, these suck."
Right.
You know, these aren't like the originals. They're no good. But now you've got a bunch of kids who like that was
Their
was
first
their
experience.
Star Wars,
Yeah.
and they love it.
And they love it,
You
and
know?
they'll love it for the rest
and
of their lives.
And the same thing with this with the sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
There's you know, years down the line, and I mean, there's plenty of people obviously advocating, you know, either way for it.
Oh yeah.
But years down the line, you're gonna see like, you know,
Dude, The
you know,
Last Jedi is my
25,
favorite
30
movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
absolutely.
it's like, I
That's
call
like
it-
this trilogy was the best. Man, Rise of Skywalker was totally misunderstood.
Yeah, Batman and Robin was the best Batman ever made.
Yeah,
Bad
you know
nipples.
I don't
what?
think you'll ever
Talking
hear
about
that.
Bad nipples.
Yeah, no, actually, it's really funny. Batman Forever and Batman and Robin actually do have a pretty vocal fan base online
Forever,
now.
I can get that, but Batman
Yeah.
and Robin, please stop.
No.
just please stop.
Why'd everybody
But, I
have
mean, but
like
that's-
glow-in-the-dark paint on
But
in that
it's,
movie? Like-
it's I call it like the McDonald's syndrome, right?
Oh, yeah.
You hook them young. You know, if you can hook them young, then you have money, you have passive income forever for the next
Right.
20, 30 years.
Oh, yeah,
right?
absolutely, yeah.
And so these not new IPs, these sequels, they're not made for us,
No.
and it's hard to accept that.
It really
It
is,
really is
especially
very
when you're a
difficult.
fan of something.
Right.
When something comes out and it's just like, this is obviously not meant for me.
I'm
This was
feeling-
obviously made for a younger demographic.
Right.
You know, it can kind of feel like a slight, but at the
Right.
same
It's
time,
like, I've been paying for this my whole
yeah,
life.
exactly.
I
But at
bought
the
all
same
the
time,
DLC.
you kind of again, like we've been saying, sometimes you're just gonna have to grow up and deal with it, man.
Well,
you know?
but
Nature of it.
hey, I got to bring this up now. Who the fuck is this new Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins?
Oh,
for?
yeah.
Who the fuck is this for? If it's not
If
for
it ain't
me,
for you,
if-
it ain't for nobody.
It's not for anybody in the world, dude.
Right.
Yeah. I just to clarify here, I'm a huge fucking Ghosts and Goblins fan. I don't have my hat out here. I wish I did.
Oh, no,
I even
no
have a
hats.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts hat that has the logo embroidered on it. I have a couple of them, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
The
He's got a Sir Arthur tattoo. We're not going to tell you
right.
where it is.
Ooh, he's in his boxers though. I mean, I think I can get through like the first 4 levels without getting hit in Super Ghouls and Ghosts. You know, so I've memorized that fucking game. Basically,
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And
But that's only because you've played
again,
those levels.
that was that
so
one
many
game I had, right? For a
Right.
while. Well, it wasn't the one, but it was one of the 5.
One of the 5, yeah.
right? And I played it so much, but I feel like that game improved on the previous 2 games, on Ghosts and Goblins and on Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah.
It's a better game than both of them. It introduced new mechanics. It cleaned up some of the gameplay. I like the art style way better in that one.
Yeah,
you know,
easily.
and like then they went on to make Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins for the PSP, and that was again one of those games that was like a must-have PSP game. If you're any kind of G&G fan, even if you just like action platformers, that game's so fucking
Ultimate
good.
was good.
God, they added new mechanics. They added special armor sets. They added like magic. They added the ability to warp between not just levels but parts in the level. So you could go like beginning part, second part. You know where the angel armor is in the 4th stage. You go to the 4th stage, get your angel armor, and then you'd go to the last stage and use that angel armor over a volcano because that shit's hard, you know. But you can do that, and it felt like it didn't punish you for trying to play the basics of the game.
Right. Yeah.
This new one, Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection, it doesn't want you to play it. It doesn't like you. It doesn't like you at all. And they don't even do things that you could potentially get out of. It's not like, like for instance, I was talking about R-Type Final 2. Anything in that game, if you just learn how to do it and you know the appropriate action, you can not get hit. You can get through all of it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You saw what I was dealing with in this Ghosts and Goblins, dude.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Like, well, not literally impossible. I would love to see, like I said, see some speedrunners and what they do in those situations because that's cheap.
It's cheap.
Yeah. Like that was awful.
There was a
painful
lot of
to
it.
watch. Like, and even just watching it, I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to play this.
Yeah,
I'm
same
glad.
here.
Like, I'm
yeah,
good.
now that I've seen it, I
Yeah,
was
man.
actually kind of stoked when I was hearing about that
I was
game.
stoked because you were stoked.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Because
You know,
I was
kinda
so stoked about that.
Absolutely.
But I
I
was-
remember that day you got off the phone with me like, well, we were actually playing. We were playing, and you
I was
just
like, I gotta go, buddy.
Go. At Ghosts and Goblins, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I hope it's hype.
And
man.
you know what? I played that for all of 20 minutes
Really?
after I got off. Yeah, and it made
Wow.
me angry that quick. And I was like, and I realized I was like, well, I've been playing all day. Maybe I need to take a breather. I'll come back tomorrow, give this game a better shot. Came back the next day and I was like, nope, just
It's
sucks.
so weird to me, man, because Capcom, they're doing so well.
Yeah.
Why-
They didn't even need to do that. Like somebody play tested that, and somebody was probably like, "Bro, this sucks." You know, like
Somebody
like,
had to tell them before.
somebody
this.
had to say something. And
Something
they're just like,
about
okay,
it,
whatever.
Yeah. It's like, hey,
People
this
want-
shit's cheap. You
Yeah.
probably,
Like,
That's what Ghosts and Goblins is cheap.
Yeah.
It's right. You know,
Yeah,
so-
the ones that sucked are like that.
Yeah,
'Cause,
exactly.
Dude, the first Ghosts and Goblins sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I know it's the
It's rough.
start of the series. It's cool where
Look,
it went.
man,
That
nostalgia
shit sucks,
is what
dude.
keeps that shit alive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We will remember a lot of things very fondly, and a lot of these things
Absolutely.
are trash.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
but it's what we had. So you know, whatever. You know.
But
We
I
played
almost want to like
stickball.
yell from the fucking rooftops on the internet. Don't buy this game if you're a G&G fan. Like, don't.
Especially at 30.
At
Is that
30,
$29.99?
man. Yeah.
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 No.
No, I think the art style looks pretty cool.
It's all right.
I think the
you know.
best part of it is the map.
The map.
Yeah,
dude.
the map
Yeah,
looks great.
The map looked great.
Yeah.
I was just like, holy shit! Like, look, you know, the color blending, like, this is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Then the game started,
And
ooh, can we go back to that map?
Yeah.
Just keep the map up there. You know,
It's very flash animation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has the hingy joints kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, that whole, you know. Yeah.
just like,
It just. Yeah. Nah, man. Don't play this game. Just don't play this game.
Yeah.
And that pisses me off. That really pisses me off.
So do we need like an MST3K style like show for bad games?
Maybe. That's a good
That
idea.
would
That's
be
not a bad idea.
Kinda fun. You
Let's
know? Just
let's
roast
work
the shit out of some games.
Man.
Yeah, let's
'cause
work
I got
on
a
that.
list of that.
Right.
Guys,
Stuff
in
that I'd love
the
to bitch about.
in the comments
Ooh.
and email, which is down below here, send us some suggestions for
I
some
always point in the
terrible.
wrong direction.
Yeah,
I always
me
wanna
too.
point
I'm
over
like,
here. I'm like,
hey, what's- but no, send us some suggestions for some games
It's down
that
there.
you'd,
You know where it is. You
that
see.
you'd like to see us roast and shit. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun to do.
We'll roast some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will roast the
I
hell
got
out
some
of
shit to
it.
roast.
Yeah. So, do you care about getting this Ninja Gaiden collection?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
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 And
not at all.
you love Ninja Gaiden.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I'm a huge Ninja Gaiden fan. I think we're getting that. We're getting the B team. You know, I don't feel like we're getting like, you know, we're not going to get Ninja Gaiden 1
Black.
because that doesn't exist. We're not going to get Black.
Yeah.
Like these things, it's literally gone, which
Yeah.
is crazy to think about, right?
Dude,
It's
I think-
something that's
I think
so
you're right.
magnificent and so perfect.
I think
Oh,
you have a good
you're
theory
talking?
here.
Oh yeah, you know he burned that shit out
He
on the way
kicked
out.
some
the
hard
door.
drives in before he
yeah.
left. I'm gonna
Oh,
drill all these
shit.
computers real quick. I'm gonna fucking.
He just walked in with a big ass magnet and just set that shit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like there we go. Moving over here.
Did
there
you know
we
that you
go.
can use motor oil to fertilize your lawn? I think he must have crashed that shit because we get the B tier of the Ninja Gaiden games,
Right.
You know.
And for some people, that'll be all that they experience.
That's right.
You know?
I mean,
You know?
and
they're
for
not bad games.
Yeah,
We're not saying they're bad.
They're not bad. They're just not the best.
They're not
Right,
the best.
true.
So,
And
I think for someone like me, I mean, I'm slightly interested in it.
yeah.
I mean, if it goes on sale, I'd be a lot more interested in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
just
like,
feel slighted.
because I've never really played a lot of those games.
Oh.
So I would be
Scott,
coming in
you
very.
don't know the pain
I
that is Greater
don't
Fiend
s-
Alma.
I don't suggest it. to
No,
you.
suggest it.
I really
Not for
don't.
me.
Not for you.
Do you,
I
do you,
got
do you
you.
like
For
a
you.
brutal, like almost unfair challenge?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Yeah,
no,
from-
I
from-
would. I will throw
yeah.
a fucking controller.
Almost from the
Yeah, I
beginning.
remember
Yeah,
you
yeah.
played Resident Evil 7 at my house, and you almost threw my controller. Yeah, you got spooked, bro. and
Yeah,
you-
yeah. I am a scaredy cat.
Fire makes me nervous.
Dude. I mean, okay, so like
My dude
for
was about
real.
to chunk it. I was like, no.
Hey, that's my stuff.
We should,
You throw your own controller.
Eventually, we'll get to Resident Evil 7, but I'll say this right out the gate: there have been times I've come home from work and it's been an already stressful day, and I'm just
yeah.
like, man, I don't even want to. This shit makes me tense, man.
Right.
I don't even
You
want to
mean
deal
Village.
with Village.
Yeah.
Village. Yeah, that's what it
Oh,
is.
yeah. Gotcha.
I mean, there have been days. I haven't finished it yet. I was gonna
Yeah.
try to finish it
How
throughout
far are
this
you?
week. I'm in the factory.
Okay.
I'm in the factory. I'm not. I don't think I'm.
He saw Sturm,
I saw Sturm.
and that's
Okay.
what we were
Yeah.
trying to get him to
Okay.
get
At
to.
least.
Good.
But at the very.
Oh,
again,
you're gonna love that fight.
Oh yeah.
You got a badass. Yeah, whatever.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no. There are times like while I'm playing it, and like I'm just like, God damn it, where's the typewriter? I really don't want to do this right now. I'm way too hot. Like I'm way too anxious. I'm naturally an anxious person
Yeah.
anyway,
Right.
and games that stress me out are kind of hard for me to get through a lot
Yeah.
of times
Yeah.
because like I'm already up here, and so it shoots my anxiety level way up here. I'm
Especially
like,
if you're
this
playing.
is
Do you
not
play with
okay.
headphones?
No.
Okay.
Never played
man,
with
that's
you
a
should
good
do
one
that.
with headphones.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, the 3D audio is something serious.
Ooh, I don't know
so
about
if you want
that.
to stress yourself out just a little bit
Just
more,
a little bit
just a
more.
little more. You know, there you go. That's how to do
But
it.
yeah.
Did you ever play PT?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I played through PT.
Because I mean, that shit's stressful.
Oh yeah.
Nothing even happens to you, and it's still fucking stressful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it only
absolutely.
becomes
Yeah.
worse when you find out that the ghost is right there behind you, like the,
Oh,
entire
the whole
freaking
time.
right? It's just like,
Oh,
man,
she's
like,
breathing down your neck.
Yeah,
yeah, right.
Ugh.
You know?
Those crunch sounds when
So-
she gets you too. I don't even know what she's doing. Is she just hugging me hard, or is she eating
Yeah,
me?
she's hugging
What's
you.
happening?
Right.
Give you a little sniff on the neck, give you a little nibble on the ear. That's all. She just wants some love.
So,
Yeah.
do we have any other news, or we want to move on to the main event?
I think we should move on to the main event.
Well, that sounds like
Alright.
a pretty good segue point. You know,
All
so
right.
like you're in the
Excellent.
factory anyway.
We're in
so-
the factory.
We're
so
in the factory.
so-
how much of that factory was ripped directly off of the film that we
Look,
just
man.
watched?
Okay, that
Toy.
movie is Heisenberg's factory. That is Heisenberg's army.
Did you see the
is name-
typewriter, dude?
Dude, everything about it. I feel like they've been drawing from this movie since Seven. You know, like a lot of the ways that a lot of the camera manipulation was very much the same. Frankenstein's army is super gamey.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which, just
super
real quick
gamey.
here, what do you guys think of it?
Oh, I loved it.
great
Loved
movie.
it. Loved it. Awesome.
Wonderful. It was a lot
Fucking
of fun.
great.
Super great.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
fun. A lot of fun.
It's definitely my favorite found footage movie
Right.
already.
Easily.
Already.
Yeah.
Although I
Easily.
like the VHS movies a lot.
Yeah, they're really good.
Those
Really,
are
really
real
good. Yeah.
But this
And-
one's fucking great.
This one's really good, guys. So Frankenstein's
Yeah.
army came out in
2013.
2013, directed by Richard. What did we decide that was? Raphorst.
Raphorst, I think it's
Raphorst.
Raphorst. We're probably
He's
butchering
Czech.
that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. You know.
Richard Raphorst.
In the South, it'd be Raphorst.
Raphorst.
Raphorst. Yeah.
Richard Raphorst.
Let's call him RR.
No, RR. There we go. That's
I like
good.
that.
I like it. But yeah, found footage horror movie about
World War II.
Frankenstein creating an undead army for
Frankenstein's grandson.
Yeah,
Frankenstein's grandson. Yeah. Creating a undead army for the Nazis.
Yeah.
And this group of Russians, they kind of stumble upon the laboratory, the factory that he happens to be.
Are we doing spoilers here?
Yeah, we're doing.
I mean, what's the name of the game?
We're going full spoilers
Full
for both
spoilers?
the movie and the game.
Yeah,
here.
full spoilers, guys. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, there is a lot of parallels between
Yeah.
Frankenstein's Army and
It is
Ari
the same
villain.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
look. Okay, look. From the moment
Don't
that movie
even
started,
don't even pussyfoot around
and
this
here's
shit.
why I kind of don't want to have this discussion
Yeah.
because I love Resident Evil 8
Yeah.
so much. Like my fiance
Right.
Yeah.
wanted to watch Frankenstein's Army with me. I told her no because she's playing RE8, and I'm
Oh,
like, I
yeah.
don't want. And I'm over here just thinking about Sturm. So so the whole reason why this movie is under or Resident Evil 8 is under fire is because there's a character in the movie that they have kind of taken liberties with using in RE8. Propeller-faced.
Yeah, well, because I think
Being-
Talking about
any of
Machine
the
Head.
Yeah, right. Yeah, got a machine.
well, and they also have another like the drill hand character.
Dude, look.
You know, like-
okay, we're getting there. But okay, look.
Hold
now,
your fucking horses.
Right. Because it's the whole
One
goddamn
sin at
movie.
a time.
It's
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the reason why,
Except for the
this
Russian
whole
soldiers, there aren't any
exists-
Russian soldiers in those.
There are not.
Yeah.
There are not. That
No
we-
one throws a chicken.
No.
You know,
Dude,
there
why-
are chickens.
Why do
There
you have
are
to-
chickens,
Why do you
but
have
you
to
don't
bash that
throw 'em.
rabbit,
You
though,
know,
man? Why do you have to bash that rabbit?
You gotta bash the rabbit.
You gotta
It's just
is it because it was a Nazi rabbit?
It was a
Is that
Nazi
why?
rabbit, and
Yeah.
it'd be delicious later.
What did he say? What did he say? He was freeing the rabbits from fascist suppression.
That's
Right,
exactly what he said.
yeah. You know, but anyway, so like, you know, after Resident Evil 8 was launched, you know, Capcom came under fire. People were saying that they plagiarized a character in a scene from Frankenstein's Army.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
that brought up this conversation to begin with. However, after watching said movie, they took a lot more than that. And that's
dude,
why, like,
yeah.
really, I hate this conversation because I love that game so much, but they took a lot.
Yeah.
This isn't just inspired by.
Yeah, well,
Right.
it's that you know, Resident Evil 8 is set in 4 different areas, and each one of the areas is a different take on the horror genre, right?
Yeah,
You know, you have
yeah.
your kind of, you know, your ghost
Gothic,
dollhouse.
yeah.
And, you know, that more gothic style. Yes, your gothic castle with
Gothic
Lady
Castle,
Dimitrescu
and then like
Big fish monster area.
exactly
Yeah.
right. And then Heisenberg's factory is pretty much just Frankenstein's Army, the movie.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like it's that.
Well,
Those
the
narrow
way they move,
hallways,
the-
the enemies with the drill hands. There was one enemy that even had the like little weak spot glowing on his chest.
Dude.
Oh,
and did
like
you see
yeah.
the one with the helmet that looked like
the mine, the one that looked like the underwater mines, the spikes.
Yeah.
That one, is that what you're
Well,
talking
no,
about?
not that
Or-
one. There's the one that almost has. You know when you fight the guys with the drill arms, and then there's the heavily armored ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's one that looks exactly like the heavy
Right.
armored one as
Yes.
well. You know?
Absolutely.
And they have
Yeah.
some other really cool character designs
Like
that
the
they
one with the
didn't
big
rip
drill
off.
face.
Oh,
Drill
yeah,
face. The
and
drill
the
face
stilt
stilts
drill
guy.
face, yeah, right.
Man, that guy's awesome.
That dude was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know?
that was real.
And so,
I
yeah.
really liked Iron Maidenhead.
Oh, my
yeah.
god.
Oh yeah.
That
I'm glad
was
we got to actually see that motherfucker work.
Oh, yeah,
dude.
absolutely.
He
Yeah.
crunched that guy's helmet onto his
Yeah,
skull.
he's like, remove it. He's like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna give up on you yet. And then when the woman's like, I'm a nurse, I can help your friend, and then she comes over and grabs the helmet and just starts tugging on it. I'm like, nurse,
ain't
No.
nurse, please,
That
nurse,
ain't
please.
a nurse.
Yeah, And then pulls his head off
God,
and the
pulls his
brains
brain out.
Yeah,
Dude.
into the
Like, that's
helmet.
how that works,
Oh,
you
that
know?
was so bad.
So I just want to just go over this real quick because I think it's cool.
Yeah.
The general plot of the movie, right? So
Oh, he's trying to
Yeah,
create
yeah,
peace.
Philip. What had
what,
happened?
oh, I don't have one of those.
Oh, damn it.
I don't have one today. I'm not even gonna attempt it with
I'll
this
tell
one.
you what happened.
What had happened?
Worst case scenario.
It's worst case scenario. That's what this movie.
That was the working
yeah.
title.
Yeah,
was
worst
it?
case
Yeah,
scenario.
yeah,
Really?
worst case
Yeah.
scenario.
Okay.
Yeah.
Solid. Yeah, this is about worst case scenario.
I get it.
Absolutely.
I get it. But for who? You know, because
Everybody.
Everybody.
arguably, worst case scenario for Dr. Frankenstein, who really did think that he had a way to bring peace.
He was
Yeah.
trying to be altruistic. That's
it.
crazy,
That's
dude.
it, right?
No.
It's like it's like, okay, this whole thing started
So-
making monsters for the Nazis, sure,
yeah.
but where it is
Yeah.
now is I'm trying to combine the communist brain and it was the communist. What was the other side of it?
The fascist
and the
brain.
fascist brain.
Yeah,
Right?
he,
yeah,
he
you
decided
combine
he
them.
takes half of a Nazi brain and half of a Russian soldier
Right.
brain and put them
But
in
he
one
called it
person.
something else. I thought he called. There was another word for it. But what did I write it down? Maybe I wrote it down. It was communists and I guess it's communist and Nazi.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so he just really wanted to create balance through modification.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's the thing.
know?
Some of the most like I mean, like every evil person starts out with some of the best intentions.
Well,
I mean, that's kind
of
of
evil.
yeah, exactly. It's
yeah.
very subjective term.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and like I mean, and again, most
He's
of
the hero, man.
most of
everybody's an asshole in this
absolutely.
situation.
Well, most of the
Everybody
best,
in that, except for what was the name of the kind of the quieter Russian soldier, the one who came in and left his ass at the very end. He took Frankenstein's head.
Yeah.
Sasha.
Yeah,
I think
Sasha.
Sasha was the only maybe good guy.
He
was
Sasha,
the only-
he just took shit the whole time.
Oh yeah,
You know, and so-
dude, that dude just blew his nose into his hat.
Yeah, I
He just
know,
took
right?
the
Took his hat and yeah. And then,
Like,
oh god, dude,
Jesus.
he was that character. He was so very Ramsey Bolton.
Totally.
Oh yeah,
He was so Ramsey, dude. And I'm just like the whole time I'm looking at him, just like, okay, yeah, you twisted fuck.
yeah.
And,
You're gonna get yours.
Oh yeah, it's coming. But I mean,
Man.
honestly, the way that he
Yeah.
got his was pretty swift.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like who's the better communist?
Yeah. Man, I think that the idea is kind of funny though, because it's not just about Frankenstein trying to have this master
army
plan
to take over the world.
Like
or-
at first, it's a group of Russian soldiers trying to find other
Other
a
Russian
separated
soldiers,
army
yeah,
that was
that were
captured,
Right.
And then it turns out that I don't even know which guy it was. I guess it's the cameraman.
The
right?
cameraman.
The cameraman has a radio transmission blocker.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's not only blocking their ability to talk to home base, he's also stopping or creating a false signal that they're going towards.
Right.
So everybody still thinks that they're doing the right thing. Well, as soon as they find this jammer, he kind of reveals to him, he's like, no, I actually, I'm sent here by Stalin to find Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the initial part of it. And you're like, okay.
And none of the other soldiers were informed of this.
None of them- yeah.
Yeah, they were none too pleased.
Yeah, and then it becomes not only is he trying to find Frankenstein,
They want to
they want to hire him, because
Yeah.
Russia's running out of troops and they need more people, and they
Yeah.
figure, well, we got
Well,
all these corpses,
Right.
We got all these machine parts. All we need is a Frankenstein,
Right.
And we have an army.
But
And Frankenstein's not even interested.
well, and I think
in
that's
it,
one
you
of the
know?
biggest
Nope.
strengths
It's
of
awesome.
the movie,
Yeah.
right there in
Yeah.
just the way that they parse out the information
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
the plot itself like thickens and becomes more and more nuanced as
Totally.
the movie goes on. Because you would think with like a movie like this, they'd just kind of throw some really interesting kills and some cool looking
Just
monsters
gore.
and just leave it
Right,
at that. But there is actually a really compelling story here.
Yeah.
And
I started watching it at maybe about 3:00 in the morning. I was like, okay, I need to watch this movie. Did I want to do it? No. I wanted to play something and then go to sleep. But I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let's do this. Let's prepare. Started watching it. All of a sudden, I wasn't sleepy anymore. Like seriously,
Yeah.
Got into
was
it pretty
riveting.
quick,
Yeah,
huh?
real
Yeah.
fast,
Uh-huh.
real
Oh, yeah.
fast, and it was riveting all the way to the end. you
Really,
know? And
yeah.
so really, like once the credits rolled, I'm just like, all right,
dude, once
you know?
shit hits the fan, I mean, it's
Yeah.
everywhere.
It's everywhere, absolutely. But all of that to say, it is literally Resident Evil. Resident Evil 8 is literally.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that segment of RE8 is literally.
Well, and to
Frankenstein's
play
body.
devil's advocate, there is there is obviously like straight up ripoffs. I mean, you have the propeller head, you have the drill hand guy.
You
I
have
feel
the
like
entire environment.
That typewriter.
Well,
I saw the typewriter.
yeah.
well, but
Yeah.
okay, so and
You had
to
those
and
big
to
pots.
address
Yeah.
and to address that,
so
I
many
mean,
big pots of whatever the hell.
He saw some crates and they had the yellow hay
They
on
had
them.
the
He was like,
yellow.
no
Oh,
yeah,
bullshit.
there we
They
go.
got yellow on those
Dude,
boxes.
I'm serious, dude. It was like when they were sitting at the table and
But
he's
I-
sitting there force feeding him. I'm like,
it's
here
like
we
from
are,
Seven.
RE7.
From- yeah,
you know what I'm
dude,
saying?
I said
Like,
that
I feel
shit
like
too.
I feel like
You know?
they've been kind of ripping off this movie for a while.
Man.
You know, and it's kind of
Because 7 has a lot of rip-off from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
absolutely,
Yeah, easily,
absolutely.
yeah.
But that here's the problem. The problem is that video games have been paying homage to different for so long, right?
yeah.
For like so many different IPs, so many different movies. How many?
I mean,
things have drawn
Metroid's Alien.
I was about to say, how many games have drawn inspiration from Alien?
Absolutely.
Just by itself,
Yeah.
right? But now we're just living in a state where everything looks so goddamn good that if you take inspiration, you're towing the line into plagiarism.
You're not
Like,
making
you
pixel
can't-
art.
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
yeah. This
You know,
isn't a
it's like-
representation.
you know,
This just is
and
that
then
thing.
because you're making something in a virtual space, it's way easier for your product to be more believable than the
Right.
original product, right?
Right.
Where someone is like, okay, I have to deal with actors and cameras and the weather of the day and all
And
these
the
other
lighting
factors,
and
the
whether
lighting.
or not- yeah.
right. You know, so it's like I feel like Capcom knows better.
They know
Like,
better.
They know better, and that's maybe why we haven't seen a statement. They haven't said shit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, okay, now, are you expecting that maybe they will be thankful because clearly we all watched this movie that we wouldn't have watched otherwise.
And it's
Yeah,
great.
right?
And it's so
and
good.
it's wonderful.
And it's really
yeah.
good.
I'm
right?
really glad that Capcom nodded this to me so that I could go check it out.
Right.
Like, you did me a service in a way, Capcom.
Right, so this might be beneficial for.
Did you hear what RR had to say about it?
Wait. Yes, actually, yes, I did. But reiterate.
He basically said at first when he found out about this, he was excited.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh man, they copied me," and then he's like, "Man, they fucking copied me."
Right.
Yeah,
And then he was
exactly.
like, "Man, they
go-
copied me."
Stages of death. He goes
Yeah.
through them all, just right there,
just right there.
Fuck. You know,
man.
and I mean, yeah, and I'm sure that he was just like fine, but then his lawyers are like, dude, fuck that. And then his,
Yeah.
you know, the other people working on the film, dude, fuck that. None of
Are
us
they
are
getting
seeing a
sued?
check.
Are they getting sued over this?
They're probably just gonna settle, man. You know,
Yeah,
like, I
I'm
mean,
sure they'll
Capcom,
settle,
They
man.
had to be prepared
Yeah.
for this. I'm sure that part of their legal team was already just like, okay, this can go south.
We're gonna put $50,000 away
We're gonna
over
go ahead-
here,
yeah,
and we're
yeah.
gonna wait for him to say something
second
and
they
go,
say
dude,
it,
we
here
already
you
got
bro.
this. We
Yeah,
got it right
for
here.
real. And
Well,
then
and they
think
may-
about your movie.
Yeah,
From now
yeah.
on,
Yeah.
tons of people are gonna watch your movie.
Yeah,
Just because it's one little thing.
Dude,
And I
you know
that we
Amazon
should've told you
streaming
before.
sales had to
Oh,
have went
dude,
through the
shot
roof.
up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'd love to see the data on that.
Absolutely.
See if sales of the Blu-ray, sales of the DVD, sales of the thing have shot up since
Yeah.
then. Because he was reading the description of the film, and even in the description on was it on
Yeah.
IMDb that you're reading it, or was it
Yeah,
on?
it was IMDb.
They actually say Resident Evil 8.
Oh, yeah, that was in the- that was in the trivia.
Absolutely.
That's what
in
it
the
was.
trivia.
But look,
yeah,
if I were RR,
yeah.
I'd do that. I'd be like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
well, fine. You want to use my shit? That's totally cool. I'm gonna use your shit as well. I'm gonna put Resident Evil in all of my descriptions for my video, like as seen in
Yeah.
Resident Evil 8.
That's
you know what
right.
I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
gonna use it.
Absolutely.
I want when somebody types Resident Evil 8, I want my movie to kind of pop up every once in a while.
Absolutely,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's like fine. Like, you know, if you want to take my IP and do this with it, then let me make some bank.
That's
Yeah,
just
let's-
fair.
let
That's
me-
just
yeah,
fair.
you know,
Yeah.
scratch your back and scratch
Well,
mine.
and the thing is just like, I mean, I know Capcom hasn't come out and made an official statement,
Which
but
is
what's
funny, man.
what's to say that they haven't already settled?
I'm
Yeah.
sure that they have.
And that's
Yeah.
why they're not saying anything.
Right.
They
I'm
probably
sure.
handled
I'm
it
sure
They
it's
don't
over.
need
Exactly,
to at this
right?
point.
Yeah, you know, because if not, you know, like we were talking about earlier, there is a great deal of transparency between developers and the consumers these days.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
like especially in a situation like that where people are just going to be like, oh, well, y'all just ripping off other movies. You know, they're still going to play the game. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It
Well,
really
I
doesn't matter. They
wonder-
win by default.
I wonder
Yeah.
what kind of ripple effect this will have as far as like games moving forward and people going back to like older games trying to, you know, figure out
Find all the little
yeah,
shit.
trying to
Cancel
find
culture
threads
doing its
here and
thing.
shit. Yeah, you know, like I wonder what kind of ripple effects this is gonna have.
I
It'll
think
be
that it would go the
interesting to
opposite direction.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
Whereas companies are going to be a lot more cautious about.
Well,
doing
I think
something
that,
like that.
yeah, right. I think that there'll be a lot more. They'll communicate more with the owners of these other IPs. You know what I'm saying?
easily.
It's like, okay,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
we're gonna do a nod to Predator,
Right.
then we're gonna make sure that, you know, the right palms are greased, and you know, I think going forward, because I do think it's kind of a good idea for some games.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
because,
I mean, I don't
RE8
have any-
did it expertly.
I mean,
Absolutely.
you know, Dead Space kind of ripping off a whole bunch from Event Horizon.
Horizon,
yeah,
absolutely.
is wonderful.
Well, I
Right,
mean,
you know?
influence is good.
Yeah.
Influence is a good thing. It's where a lot of creativity kind of spawns from.
Absolutely.
Is our influence.
Yeah, but you
Especially
can't just
in gaming,
steal
But
from
no,
one
no,
thing a
you
bunch.
can't just take this thing as like I was
Right.
influenced by the Ninja Turtles, so now I'm gonna here's
put
here's
Michelangelo in my
Michelangelo
shit,
in my surfing movie.
Uh-huh.
You know, I don't know.
I like it. That's good.
I mean,
I'd watch
I
it,
would-
man.
I
You're
would,
telling
yeah.
me you wouldn't watch that, but that's not a good idea
really
if you
funny.
don't own that
That's
property.
really funny.
You got to pay for your shit. You got to pay for
Exactly.
your shit.
Yeah,
I just think that
Yeah.
a lot of gaming devs just haven't really had to think about that. I
What if
think
they
this
have
is
to
that
put his name in the credits in RE8?
Michelangelo?
No,
As
no.
Michelangelo.
No, I mean RR. What if they in a Resident Evil Village they have to include his fucking name in the credits at
I
the end?
mean, that is a small price to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's
that'd
an
be
absolute
cool.
win.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And they probably should have just done that in the first place.
Yeah.
But you know, but I think that it was like it's an important lesson to learn because the line between film and gaming is becoming so thin. You know, and gaming's already overtaking film financially, and it's only going to accelerate.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna
Easily.
overtake sports.
Absolutely, right. And so I feel like there's an important lesson for all of us as a whole, it's like, okay, we are beyond the point where we can just like take a little bit of this movie and put it in our game and hope that it flies under the radar. That's not where we are anymore.
No,
people are going to notice that immediately. Because that's what happened to Capcom.
Well,
right?
I mean, like not just the
It's like day
graphics.
2.
Really, yeah.
Exactly. Dude,
That
it
shit
was
just
crazy.
came out, and we're like, wait a second.
Wait a second. I never heard this movie, but goddamn, that's the same.
Well,
you got the same number of propellers too. You couldn't have given
Yeah.
him one more propeller.
Give him 4, dude.
Give him another blade.
Come on.
He dies
No,
the same way.
Oh god.
When he sets on fire.
Sets on fire.
Yeah.
Well, and too,
It's
like
too
speaking about
obvious,
that,
man.
right.
that people are going to be more like on top of this now is like not just because like the graphics are better, but just the like breadth of the internet at this point.
Right.
I mean, there's so many people that are just going to notice these kinds of things and immediately put it out there.
Hey, man,
You know?
if you make a Hodorowski reference, I immediately notice it.
Oh,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
absolutely.
Like what's that? What was that band? Closure in Moscow. You remember when they released their second album? They had that cover, and I was like, fucking rip off.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
And it wasn't even that good.
It wasn't
That's
even-
what
no,
sucks.
it wasn't
You
even
know,
that
if it
good.
was good, we'd probably give that a pass, but it wasn't. And I think that's another thing I really should say too. No, yes, I think Capcom should have taken a little bit better care of the situation before it got to this point.
Yeah.
But that doesn't diminish the game at all.
No. So,
You know?
speaking to this,
Okay,
what do
well-
you think about the game, Scott? Because you
Can I
haven't
ask-
finished
Can I
it.
ask one question
Sure.
before we go all the way there?
Yeah.
Okay. Having seen this movie now, okay, like before you were in Heisenberg's factory.
Yeah.
Right.
How'd you feel about the factory then versus how you feel about it now? Like
well,
before you knew just how deep the well of plagiarism actually went.
right.
You know,
I
Has
mean,
it
I
changed?
ultimately feel about the same because this is something that I wanted to bring up before, and this is something that I said when we were doing the commentary for the movie, is while yes, the factory is very similar, don't like. I mean, that's just a factory. You know what I mean? Like, there's a million other factories that could look exactly like that. So
even
I
when
mean,
they hung all the bodies from the
well,
ceiling,
yeah.
I'm just
And
like, it's
again, and I get it. And
fucking
yes, there
same.
are very like
typewriter,
strong.
man. I'm gonna say it a million
typewriter.
times. that
They
goddamn
even had a
typewriter.
rail puzzle. He
Yeah.
was pushing the bodies on the rails. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this? I'm sorry.
Yeah. But again, I'm trying to defend this in some way.
I
You know,
want
I'm
to
trying
defend
to
it,
be.
but I
I'm
just
trying to be
can't.
contrarian in some. No, but no. To answer your question, no, it actually doesn't diminish my enjoyment of the game. It doesn't diminish like any excitement that I have exploring and going through this factory area.
You still want to finish it, right?
I still want to finish it. You know, I it doesn't make Propellerhead any less terrifying.
Sturm's
or
an
any-
asshole.
And then
yeah.
thinking about it, Sturm in or the Propellerhead character in the movie, he was only there for a moment. Like,
He's only there
he
for a
was
little
there
while.
for just a blink, you know. And he's
He was
kind of a
definitely one of the
showpiece.
more. Yeah, I'm about to say he was definitely like he was a little more unique than what we usually get for like movie monsters and stuff like
He's
that.
probably
Yeah,
the most expensive thing in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
easily,
Yeah,
and
definitely,
he easily
yeah.
stood out from even all the other monsters. Even though the other all of these characters really do stand
And then
out.
by the time he shows up, everything's already going complete to
It's-
hell,
oh,
close to
yeah.
hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, here is Propellerhead, and it's like, fuck,
Man,
And then they kill him in like
what's up
3
with that little
seconds.
cauldron boy?
Oh,
With-
yeah,
It's
right.
just, like with the leg. It's like a cauldron with legs, and yeah, it walks around all
He just walks
wacky.
around. I
But
like
it
the-
holds
I like
all of Frankenstein's gears.
Gears
so
and
it's
stuff.
like-
Yeah, I like the female one that shaves his
totally.
head and
Oh,
all it
yeah.
does is hum.
Mhm.
It just hums music the entire
Dude,
time.
she had like a Silent Hill nurse kind of thing
Yeah,
going on almost, you know,
yeah.
but still different. Like I'm not saying that he ripped off Silent Hill, but it just had that weird, creepy nurse vibe. That's
Right.
all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
Because
anyway,
this guy
that's-
most
no,
definitely did not rip anybody off. That shit's original.
yeah,
Fucking-
absolutely. yeah.
Yeah.
But no. It really doesn't diminish anything about the game for me whatsoever.
Good.
To be completely honest.
And I don't
Good.
think it does for me either.
I
Right,
feel like
you know?
it's still a solid, experience and a solid like game just overall. I mean, it's great. It's a great game.
Yeah.
If anything, it kind again, like we were saying. I mean, the game even doing this best case scenario, it just points a bunch of people to this movie.
Right.
Which I would have never cared about this movie.
We would have never
if
watched
I hadn't,
this.
we would have probably never watched this or even heard about it.
Man, if I'd read the title Frankenstein's Army, I probably would have been like, that looks shitty.
Well,
Yeah.
moved on. It's one of those things where I already felt like I knew what the movie was.
And it's not.
Just by the title.
Yeah.
And it's not.
No, it's not quite what you think it is. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's like those like super cheap, super schlocky like Redbox DVDs. Like that's when you read Frankenstein's Monster, man, and I wish I remember
Frankenstein's Army. Yeah.
Frankenstein's Army. Yeah. I wish I remembered the studio that they put out just a bunch of rip-off stuff and just like like the Terraformers or whatever.
It happens with like every major movie.
Yeah,
there's like a rip-off like immediately.
And that's what that's what I thought.
Don't
that
you
would
guys
end
remember
up
Bearnado after Sharknado?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Bearnado, Megalodon versus radioactive crocodile or some shit.
It's just the croc from Lake Placid. That's
yeah,
all.
absolutely. and like you read that title, and so you think that that's what this movie is going to be, and then when you watch it, it totally flips your expectations on its head, and that's what was really enjoyable for me, is that I really didn't know what was going to happen moment to moment. Yeah. I was constantly surprised, constantly just going like, oh no, oh damn, that dude looks cool. Oh man, he fucked them up. Like,
Hit that boy brain out.
He picked that boy brain out. So and again, like I'm just I'm still gonna finish Village. I'm still gonna finish Village, and I'm excited to finish it, even though it stresses me the fuck out.
But maybe that's like the biggest nod. It's like, okay, like we are dividing our game into different segments of horror, different types of horror.
Yeah.
And one of those segments is your movie, because clearly they're fans, right?
Yeah.
Clearly they've watched that movie a shit ton, And so
that was an assignment for the art team. All right, go home. Watch this.
Watch this
Well,
shit.
and
And they're like,
Heisenberg
oh my
also-
god, yes, and more yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
dude.
Well, and Heisenberg kind of acts, at least from what I've seen, kind of acts like Frankenstein does. to some
Heisenberg
degree.
acts like fucking
Fake ass Nick Cage.
fake ass Nick Cage. That's what
Nick
he
Cage.
is, Nicholas goddamn Cage, man.
Yes.
That's who.
I love it. Yes.
He is straight
That's
up
why
Nick,
I love
dude.
that
That's
man.
why I love him, dude. Whenever he's
I
on the
love
scene, I'm
that
like,
man.
let's go.
What's
He's like,
up,
oh
man?
yeah, he's like,
Oh,
sit
we
down.
about to cage
He's
it
like,
up?
sit down right here in front of this pit. I'm like, I ain't gonna sit right down.
Sounds like a bad idea, buddy.
It seems really bad. It's like, you don't want to know what's down there. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So can I sit over there? Yeah. Can I sit anywhere
This
else?
cagey motherfucker. I got him for days.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So moment
But yeah,
to moment. What do you think? Do you think they've mixed it up in a clever way? Do you like the different
Like as far as the
sections?
game so far?
Yeah. Because I mean,
I do.
if you're at the factory, you've seen all 5
Yeah,
parts
I
to the
do
game.
feel like they change it up enough.
Yeah.
I mean, the gameplay really does just kind of boil down to, no matter what section you're in, is just like run around, explore, pick up as much as you can, and shoot. Yeah, it's
Resident Evil, dude.
fucking Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But as far as like the different areas, I do feel like there's enough of a difference, and it does keep things fresh moment to moment. Whereas when I was playing Resident Evil 7, I feel like I did eventually get bored with the setting.
Yeah, and the molded.
It was very samey.
Yeah.
The entire way.
Yeah. Whereas, I loved the castle. That was awesome just right off the bat, being able to experience that. And then it was the dollhouse next.
House Bienvento.
Yeah, which was.
Go.
Ooh.
Yeah, how'd you feel about that?
How'd
you feel about that sequence?
It shook me quite a bit. I did
Like
love
immediately the second you walked in, you were already shook?
No, it kind of built over time.
Right.
I will say that baby thing was deeply disturbing.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like walk around the corner and then I hear, Daddy!
It's the sound.
And I'm like,
right.
okay.
And
I
that
run
laughter
back.
from laughing to crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
you're
didn't
hiding under the bed. It's just fucking.
Well,
awful.
I didn't realize that you had to, because I just was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna juke around him real quick. I'll run through this door, and you can't do that.
Can't get away from Big Baby.
Can't get away from Big Baby.
And so you saw that death animation.
I died 4 fucking times.
Bro.
And after that,
Baby was hungry.
And after that second time, I was just like, I need to put this down for a second.
Babies will
outside,
put anything in their
cigarette,
mouth.
like,
Oh, that's right. Even
okay,
daddy.
okay.
That's right.
Feet first. You're right. So
Yeah, because you see going down its gullet.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up.
Again,
man.
like,
that's like yummy.
that part stressed me out more than any of this other game. And like I've said
Yeah.
before, this game has pretty much been stressing me out every single time I play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a
not in a bad way.
It's a different kind
Not
of
in a bad way.
stress,
All
though,
the time.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's
like
a different level.
being stalked by the vampires, right,
Yeah.
is a certain kind of stress.
Yeah, and when they
then-
just kind of pop up in
Yeah.
front of you, you're just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, you
Well,
know.
I mean, but that brings up a point. Like, you know, Capcom's learned a lot making this. You know, in their history of making Resident Evil, I feel like there was never a point at which. Let me just put this shit down. There's never a point at which an enemy type, a mechanic. There was never a point at which anything wore out its welcome. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
you're going to be fighting these things for a little while.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're not fighting those lichens anymore. Now you
Right.
got other things to worry about, right?
Right.
And so they kept gameplay varied the entire time. They kept
Right.
your environments varied the entire time.
But
So
you guys didn't feel like it was scatterbrained, though, right?
Not really. I will say that the only
No.
section that I didn't have, that I don't have as much like love for, it was still solid. You know, was the big monster battle.
Moreau.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt like after, and that may have just been coming out of the dollhouse and that shit being like as
there was
emotional
also
for
no
me as
combat
possible.
in the dollhouse.
Yeah, there's no
combat.
no
They
real
Take
combat.
your weapons away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it's
Which
just
when that
puzzle
happened, I was
solving
just like,
and
oh man,
atmosphere.
no, this is gonna be terrible.
Right.
Like, it's gonna be real bad.
Yeah.
But no, like by the time and again, that may be coming off of the dollhouse and it affecting me the way that it did, and then having to go back to that traditional just run and gun, like explore and like run away from a big
Well,
monster.
that was like the action segment.
I really love that one because I love the boss stage battle thing. Like
Yeah,
that's
right. Yeah.
always been one of my favorites, and I kind of like it that section is more of like a instant fail.
Yeah,
and the rest
right.
of the game is not an instant fail, but it's also not instant fail like, oh, you were seeing. No,
Yeah.
it's a big
Yeah.
motherfucker eats you.
Yeah,
exactly.
and again, it's like I'm not down in that section.
Yeah.
That just so
That's
far
your-
that was kind
that's
of
your
the
low
more.
point.
Yeah.
That was my low point.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it was still pretty high.
What do you
for
think
a low
about-
point?
what do you think
but-
about the werewolf
But
den?
it's rough. The werewolf den.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
God.
was a lot of fun.
Dude,
I enjoyed
that's
that.
a high adrenaline Resident Evil
Yeah,
4,
and then
Resident Evil
looking
5
through
thing,
those
dude.
holes in the cave walls.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
shit,
when they're
you see
eating
them-
on the bodies
yeah.
and their head, dude.
Oh my God.
Dude,
Yeah.
so I have to tell
It's-
you about this. So
Let's go.
so the boss, the big
Urias.
Yeah.
Urias, okay, rolled up
No,
on
Urias.
him. No, you're like because I'd just been kind of going around just blasting werewolves,
As you do, as one does.
and it wasn't out of ammo, but wasn't where I would want to be for a boss. Okay, so like this dude jumps down, and I'm just like, okay, freaking shotgun, bam, bam, bam,
He's
bam,
like,
bam.
all right.
Yeah,
whatever.
Go through my Rolodex of guns here, and like it finally, and like pistol and bang, 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 and just trying to get him and run out of ammo. Well, shit.
Be like that.
The only thing I have left is my knife, so I had to fucking
Oh,
Dark
did you?
Souls. Yeah.
Oh,
I had
man.
to fucking Dark
That's
Souls
rough.
balls that dude. I was just like, block.
Hey, at least the block's solid in this game,
And
dude.
okay.
And I
now,
got him, but god damn, that was probably the most intense boss fight that I've had so
I don't
far.
think I blocked like once in the game. Like,
Really?
yeah, and
Do you know about
I know
the
how
melee
powerful block
mechanic?
is, and yes, I know about it.
Yeah.
But it's that old school in me. I dodge.
I
and
very
run.
Is that why you're
rarely-
a bigger fan of Bloodborne?
Probably yes.
Because it's
Absolutely.
about
Yeah,
dodging
yeah,
rather than
yeah,
being
like,
about
I
blocking?
prefer evasion. I prefer
Yeah.
evasion because it
I'm
doesn't make
kinda
sense to me when this big, huge motherfucker. Because it's just like with Dimitrescu's daughters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just block, you're doing
Yeah,
it, and especially if you
you're good.
crouch and block, you're safe. Like
You're
super
safe, you're good.
right? But it doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
Like,
I barely-
How is Ethan? Even though once you,
Understand who Ethan is.
I mean,
it all
yeah.
makes sense,
Yeah.
right? It is what it is.
Hey, guess what? He's Frankenstein, guys.
Yes, he
I mean,
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a zombie.
Yeah,
He's a mold zombie.
But I see what you're getting there because I very rarely.
Oh, spoilers, guys.
Okay.
We're spoiling.
I'm trying to preserve him.
No.
Oh no! Don't worry about it. Like I told you, man, I don't really care about spoilers.
Oh
Bet.
Scott,
Bet that up.
Scott
All right,
doesn't care.
cool.
I don't give a shit.
I'll
still play it and I'll still have it.
Yeah.
But no, I see what you're saying about the block thing because I just very rarely even think about it until.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh wait,
and then I'm like,
it's more like this.
Right.
And a big morning star, comes at you. And
I'm like, I don't know, that shouldn't work, man.
Nope.
And so I feel like I'm gonna get the fuck out of Dodge.
Right.
And that's what I did. Even though I guess when you're going into Village of Shadows, then I mean you have to use your block.
You got to use your block. You got to make sure you use your melee, which the melee's weird on this. I'll be honest, because it's like, it's kind of a counter. Right, because you pretty much have to block it and then immediately hit the button again.
Right.
So instead of doing like is it a long press and then you do a quick press? Is that what it is? It's something like that. Dude, I don't like it. I actually don't like the way they did that.
Like in most Resident Evil games, I love the knife. In this one, it was one of my least favorite weapons. So I'd really.
Dude, did you get that? Did you get that karambit?
No, I haven't bought that. I went for. Please. No, I went for the infinite grenade launcher.
Yeah.
Much to my chagrin.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fun.
And
if
it's
you're playing
good
on
for
normal,
situations.
If you're playing on normal, it's great. But if you're playing on hardcore,
it
it's
doesn't
just
do
like
shit, dude.
Nah, man.
Not really.
Man, I was telling Robbie when he beat the game, I was like, dude, you want an infinite magnum? He's like, oh, I put it all in a shotgun. I'm like, that shotgun isn't even gonna touch those boys. Yeah. Those werewolves, you sneezed on them.
You get some KD, you get some knockback, and so that's good. You can make some space.
Right.
And aiming at their legs really does work with those
that's
werewolves.
Resident Evil. Because I mean, in Resident Evil, usually aiming at their legs with a knife goes a long way.
Absolutely.
But in RE8, absolutely not. You're gonna die. You're gonna get smoked. So
and there's totally an achievement for playing through the whole game with just a knife.
Of course,
I'm sure there is.
Well, I mean, there's also the. Have you seen the LZ Answerer?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
It is a lightsaber that you can get.
You get a lightsaber in this game?
You get a dual-bladed lightsaber,
sold.
sir.
You can straight Darth Maul on them.
And it has 3 different colors. Did you know about that?
Yeah.
It's
I
got
just
3
saw
different
it as
colors.
red.
Red is for extra damage. Blue absorbs like all block damage, so it just goes to 0.
Oh shit.
Green heals you as you get kills. Bro,
What?
Like it didn't even have to exist. And here's Capcom. The same people who released Ghouls and Ghosts. I don't know. This is what confuses me. That baffles me.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like if okay, here's one of the best things about that game. They reward you for everything that you do.
And you can use those rewards to get unlockable stuff.
It's
not just
to get badass shit.
hey,
And they're
points,
like,
achievements.
We don't care if you don't make things unbalanced. Like, that's okay.
That's
right.
just
You earned it.
that's
Their
just
new
a
Game
tight
Plus doesn't
that's just
care
a
if it's
tight
unbalanced.
gameplay loop at that point.
It's just a tight gameplay.
You know,
loop.
that's just good game design.
You feel like you're doing something that accomplishes something.
Everything that you
so
do.
rewarding. So subsequent playthroughs, it's like you don't feel like, okay, here we go again. I'm just saying the same story.
You're not just getting points.
You know, right? You know, it's like, oh shit, I'm gonna get even those models. Just like those models are sick.
Dude, they look so good.
That baby model.
See, I got the Moreau model. That was the first one that I wanted to see because I really wanted to see his like pustules and all those.
Yeah, he's a gross fuck.
His fishy bits.
His fishy bits. Take a look at his fishy bits.
Do you love me?
I'm gonna hurt you.
Oh man. This is Bailey's. If you look a little bit closer.
This is the closest you can get to Bailey's without getting your eyes wet. Man. Yeah,
Oh god, isn't he like now the host on the Great American Baking Show?
Yes, he is, dude.
Yeah, that's the weirdest shit for me, man.
And he'll still act wacky once in a while, and you're like, there he is. There he is.
I just want to let him slip like, I'm hungry. You know?
Yeah, dude. It wouldn't surprise me if he did
Today's ingredient is Bailey's. That'd be really fucking good, man. Yeah. I liked him when they did that whole like psychedelic like trip thing, and he was like, my name is Spider because I have 8 of something. And it shows him pissing, and he's just pissing like all over the place. Like, it looks like a shower head. Like, yeah, man, that's good.
Yeah.
God, how do we get to old Greg? Okay, well. Oh shit! And so, okay, well, I mean, you're almost done with the game.
I'm pretty close.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know the very end, like what's going on? Do you mind if we talk about it?
I do not.
You don't?
Dude, like, here's the thing. We say spoilers more for you guys. I do not care about spoilers.
I do.
I absolutely do
And
not.
see, I'm so used to Scott that when I talk to you, sometimes I forget that.
See, your problem is you do that thing. It's kind of like when somebody says, like, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but that's
like,
how you
this
know,
ain't a
like,
big
okay,
spoiler.
well,
This
they're
is not a big
about to sound
spoiler.
like an asshole.
I say
you
that
know,
all
my
the
boy,
time,
he's like, for
dude.
what? This isn't a spoiler, but I'm just like, just don't say it, man.
Just don't say
You got to preface it with, this isn't a spoiler. That means it probably is
Right.
spoiler-like, you know, and so.
It's spoiler adjacent.
like-
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not a spoiler if you knew what was happening.
Yeah, if you
Right.
already,
You already
got
knew,
here,
then
then
Maybe if
yeah,
you just
I'm not
figure out
spoiling it
what's
for
going
myself.
on, man. Like, then you won't get spoiled.
I already knew that.
Yeah, right.
You know, and so, like,
But
it
no,
was-
and again, I know there are people out there
Oh, yeah.
that do
I
give
am
a
bad
shit.
about it. My
But
friends give me
like,
grief.
I honestly, I've never experienced a spoiler that has diminished my appreciation or decreased my enjoyment of a thing because I knew it beforehand.
They didn't tell you Bruce Willis was dead the whole time?
Yeah.
They didn't tell you.
That's
That would
that's a
ruin
good
that one.
That
That
absolutely
Yeah,
fucking
it
ruined
actually does, because going
Yeah.
back and watching that,
Oh,
a
it
second
It's not
time-
even good.
Everything.
It's not even
Absolutely.
good after he's dead.
Yeah.
Like you're watching it, you're like, well, I mean,
And there are some things
Yeah.
that are kind of like that, but again, like my whole thing, and this is just for me, this is my opinion on it. It's just like, if a thing is good, then it's going to be good whether I know shit or not.
For most
hear
cases,
that.
I can agree
hear
with you
that.
on that.
You know.
I'm a big fan of surprises, man. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that as an adult male.
Says the man that opened up his PlayStation every day for how many
I was surprised every day. Every time I learned a new combo, I was surprised. When I finally unlocked Kunimitsu, I was surprised. Baked Dusan, I was surprised.
That's right.
And so, but I mean, I do. I feel like as adults, we really don't get a lot of just pleasant surprises, right?
I
We
can
get
feel
a
you there.
random bill. We
Yeah.
get like, you might get something from a hospital. Like, oh, I thought I paid that. They're like, surprise. Your insurance
Surprise,
said,
your transmission
no, you gotta,
fucked up.
Yeah, surprise, your whole drivetrain. You got to get 4 new tires and an alignment. I'm like,
Exactly,
oh,
and I can get
surprise.
and I can get behind that. That's why like when I'm talking to other people, I tend, or like when I'm talking to somebody, I try to kind of gauge, just like, okay, have you seen this? How much do you care?
Right.
Like, and if they're like, oh no, I haven't seen it, and I care a lot about spoilers, then I'm just like, okay, well then let's change the fucking subject.
That's where I am too.
know?
And I feel like sometimes it may limit conversation a little bit because I'm overly aware of that thing.
Right.
Whereas some people really don't care, man. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's good
yeah.
to know.
But another thing I'll say about spoilers, at least for me, and then we can get back on track or whatever. But there have been times where things have been spoiled for me, and that's made me want to see something.
Yeah.
That's
Somebody
the way it was
will
for
give
Berserk
away.
with me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there'll be a movie that's out, and I'm just like, I'm just not that interested. But then somebody, like, I'll watch a video on or read something online, and they'll talk about a specific scene, and I'm just like, oh, that sounds cool. I want to see that.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's kind of a give and take for me. You know, it really
Yeah.
just depends on what it is.
I wanted to make sure that we waited at least a month before doing this podcast, just to make sure that the majority of people that were worried about this game being spoiled would have already played it.
Right.
Because I think at this point right here, if somebody's tuning in, there've already been so many people playing through the game on Twitch, so many people doing all this stuff.
That was why I powered through the game as quickly as I could, because it gets to a point, and I feel the same way whenever there's a new movie that comes out,
Right,
something that's really huge, where you can't look at the internet, man. It's like if you just pull up YouTube feed, someone's gonna spoil something in their icon. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah.
They're just gonna do it,
Yeah,
or
man.
they're gonna say
or
something.
Reddit or
Right,
yeah.
and so I find that like on those days I have to like scroll, but not look directly
Like-
at my phone.
like-
Kind of let my
Oh,
eyes,
use
go
your
out of
peripheral.
focus.
Yeah.
and
Glaze
it's like,
over a bit.
And then once I see a sequence of words that kind of takes me down that path, just keep going. So I'm gonna turn my phone off. And so just for my own like mental health, in a lot of cases I'm like, I'm just gonna play through this game, and get
Right.
this experience,
Yeah,
because like
absolutely.
with a game like RE8, I do feel like sometimes some of those surprises. That's what really gets you.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like-
Well, I
like
mean,
House
I was
Bien
really
Viento, like-
surprised by that baby.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
You know?
When you don't see that shit coming, I think when I was at that point, this was another one of those times where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just go through. I'm gonna find the next save point and stop playing the game. And then I stumbled upon the house. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'll just peek in. It's already like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And I love the way they present the house to you at first on the cliff and everything. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. The closer you get. And the funniest thing is, like, all of that's a hallucination. Well, the house itself is, but once you get to that grave, it's all a hallucination.
From that
point
point on.
Yeah, because it's all about those flowers, right?
Yeah.
So those flowers are what enable her. She can control whatever hallucinations you'll see after you breathe in those spores. And so that's the whole thing. Once you see those flowers, none of that actually happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of it, when you've got Angie and you're stabbing into her head with the scissors, yeah, you were over there shanking Lady Bienvento.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've been running around this house like a maniac, chasing this lady around who's just like, oh, get away from me. She's like, please don't leave, but at the same time, don't do this.
Right,
And then,
exactly.
you go and you find her somewhere, you stab her in the head, and she runs away, And then you run and track her down, and she's just like, trying to do her best to stay alive.
So what do you think the other bosses see with her? Do they see her? Do you think they're affected by the spores?
No,
do
I
they
think that's
see
only
the
on her
doll?
land. Now, Angie, I think, is real.
Yeah.
Angie is real. Like, she actually
she put part of
has
her parasite in her.
Right, exactly.
I gotcha.
So Angie has a Cadeau. So she's
that's what it is. Yeah.
Right. So she's a real thing.
Yeah.
Because remember when you first wake up, Ethan wakes up.
Yeah.
And Angie's like right there in your fucking face.
Oh, yeah,
Which is
absolutely.
one of those things that makes me really think VR is on the horizon. That whole scene was just like, oh, this would be perfect for VR. Or even when Angie floats up to you, she's in your face, and then she flies away. Your life is on the line. I'm just like, oh god, this would all be so sick in virtual reality.
The big
easily.
grindy claw trap that comes at you.
Right,
It's
yeah.
gonna look so good in
Yeah,
VR
so
being in your
dude,
face.
it's just,
and-
like all these things. It's clearly in the cards.
Oh,
Clearly
yeah,
in the cards.
easily.
But no, I don't think that they are affected by other Cadeau. I think they just kind of
Okay. Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
Which is another reason why you're able to push through shit because you're right there, like
You're
parallel
like,
to a Cadeau.
yeah, you're kind of like the next iteration of what the Cadeau is, right? Because I mean, the black mold technically came from that place.
Yes.
And it sounds like what happened.
Like you're like a perfect evolution.
Yeah, like
Oh,
so. I
okay.
guess what happened is Umbrella took a piece of the Cadeau initially, and then made this new mold out of it.
Because they had a difference of opinions because all she wanted to do is get her daughter back and all.
Oh, that's
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So he's trying to actually like change the world. It's like this, just like ethically.
What's the guy's name?
That was, God damn it.
Spencer. Is it Spencer? Because it's the
William
Spencer.
Spencer?
It's the Spencer Mansion,
Right.
in the original one, right?
Right, it is. But was that? What
Then-
was that character's name?
And the way that they describe it in this one with some of the notes is that he was directly inspired by.
They were in love.
Yeah, and he was
with
directly.
Mother Miranda.
Yes, yeah, and so like the Umbrella logo actually came from their shit.
Right.
You know, it wasn't
Which is
originally
awesome.
Umbrella.
That's
Yeah, they
really
did a
cool.
great job with that,
That's
didn't they?
really cool.
Dude, I don't know how they did such a good job of basically tying all of Resident Evil into itself better in this game than they've ever done it.
Right.
Because really,
Right.
it feels like Resident Evil 4. It feels like Resident Evil 7. And then they tie all this backstory from the original Resident Evil in, which all the rest of them kind of feed off of that, right?
Well, yeah,
Right.
easily.
Yeah. But it all together, it just works. It just fucking works. And then this is where the spoilers get in for real for you.
It's Oswald Spencer. So
Oswald Spencer,
Oswald
yeah,
Spencer,
the Spencer Mansion, yeah, totally. In the Arklay Mountains. It's interesting because there's also this component of the Frankenstein's army part, right? Mm-hmm. Umbrella is technically using the same technology that Heisenberg is to make BOWs at the end. Okay, bioorganic weapons.
BSAA.
Right.
Yeah, the BSAA, right? Yeah. And because at the end with Chris, he has to fight off BSAA guys, but it turns out they're not humans. They're these fucking hybrids, right? And it's kind of the same idea with the Frankenstein's army where, oh, this guy has this crazy idea, we're going to take his idea and then make an army out of it. Because when you get to the factory and you see that there's just rows and rows and rows, you know, they're probably being shipped out to some foreign country to go, take over some shit.
Yep.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
horrible, man.
Yeah, it's like where else are we going to find these things? Like I'm really excited to see what they do with DLC because they did some really interesting things with Resident Evil 7 for DLC.
You get to play as Heisenberg. What do you think of that?
that would be
I'm
cool.
with it. I'm absolutely with it.
Yeah.
'cause
Magneto
there's-
powers.
Right, because I'm sitting here just like, bro, well, I mean, you did get to play as Jack Baker's brother who's over there
Exactly.
suplexing the shit
man.
out of mold monsters. You know what I'm saying? She was lit, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like I've never suplexed a giant monster in VR, man. That was badass for me.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know, but I do wonder if we'll see a Heisenberg chapter because he's not really a villain. You know, like he hates this whole thing. He's like, you did
He
this
doesn't
to
trust
me.
Miranda.
You took, no, well, she fucked him over.
She fucked him over,
and she's like, and he, you know, calls me her son. You know, I'm not her fucking son.
Yeah.
You know, and so and all these people, you know, Lady Dimitrescu is over here sucking Miranda's dick, and Moreau, well, he's just poor boy, wants to watch TV.
Poor
which
guy.
Heisenberg controls anyway. So
he has
poor
to watch
dudes.
his programming the whole time.
the whole time, the whole time. I kind of felt bad for Moreau at first, man.
Bro,
because
just
it's
he
like,
doesn't even have Netflix.
no, right?
Well, he's also trying to impress the rest of them.
That's all.
Oh,
He
yeah,
just wants
yeah.
the people to like him.
Yeah,
He's
and
like,
nobody
likes
does.
me, and nobody,
It's because you smell like fish.
Right. Well, he's not actually a person, you know,
Right,
and so that's the whole thing, and that's why he can't keep his form together. You know, he's almost. I mean, he's a failed experiment.
Was he affected the worst by the Cadeau? Is that what the situation is?
Yes, I thought that he was actually like a plant. Like he's not. Yeah, he's not.
Okay.
He's not.
He's like a mandragora.
Well, kind of.
okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not. He wasn't a person that was implanted with a Cadeau, and then he turned into something else.
I guess I didn't realize that.
Yeah, like he's. I thought he was like it's like some kind of plant, some kind of sentient plant thing, and then
He's a chomp plant.
yeah,
This is a piranha plant.
Piranha
plant, yeah.
You know, but he does. He has a sad little story because I mean, poor guy. He wants to be accepted, and then when he starts just yakking all over the place.
Oh yeah.
I think that's awesome.
And I'm like, why are we sticking around for this?
Yeah.
You know, like Ethan. There are a lot of times when Ethan does questionable things.
Ethan's an old dumbass.
He's
Let me tell you.
he is.
He's
Yeah.
an idiot,
thick
dude.
bastard.
Yeah, right. I
He's
mean,
pretty much a dummy.
yeah,
Dude.
yeah.
Because there were several times where I was just like, why did they take control away from me? Run,
Yeah.
go, run. This is not good. This is not going to end well for you, Ethan. You've already got half your hand chopped off.
Right.
You should,
And I'm like,
you
how
should
did
be
you
a little
not-
bit more aware of the situation, dog.
You didn't even notice that you were carrying around your daughter's head. You didn't think
Man,
for a minute to
you didn't
rub
look at
off
it? You
the-
didn't look
you
at
know,
it?
He's like, no, Ethan, really, look at it. You know, he looks at it,
Yeah.
wipes it, and it says head. He's like, oh, shit. So it's like, you
Ooh,
pick
whose
this
head
thing
is
up,
this?
right? You know, you pick this
Yeah.
whole thing up, and you just never just, well, let me get a little dust and figure out what it is while I'm carrying it.
Man,
around.
because
Yeah.
when they reveal that to you,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I mean, the baby section's bad, but I think that's the darkest moment in the game is when they go, hey, buddy.
Oh, yeah, you
You're
got
holding
your
your daughter
You got
in
it.
that
Already.
vial
Yeah,
there.
you've
Right.
already found your daughter.
Oh, man. And it also doesn't make sense to me that the whole time Chris keeps being like, oh no, don't worry about it. We got it. We'll fix that.
Right.
No, you just get the pieces, man. We'll fix it. We'll
Right.
get her back
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And I guess she's
Well,
fine at the
Chris
end.
also already, you know, one thing about playing as Ethan from a first-person view,
Mm-hmm.
we don't get to see how he's viewed.
Mm.
You know,
Right.
Chris knows that this dude is mold. He knows that this guy
Oh, yeah.
is, you know, he's fucked beyond recognition, right?
Yeah.
But he's also very good in the clinch, you know, like
Right.
he's still morally just wants his family. He still wants.
He's still a
he
solid
is
guy.
A perfect BOW.
Yeah.
And Chris is aware of this
whoa,
shit, man.
yeah, I didn't
you
think
know,
about
it's just
that.
like, okay, it's like, you know, it's like Ethan, like, here's why I brought you here. You know, everything's gonna pop off, and you're gonna be right here where I can see you first and
Yeah.
foremost. But secondly, shit goes down. You're a good trooper to have in the field.
Yeah.
You know, you regenerate. You don't. It doesn't even matter. You know,
Seriously.
you take all sorts
Yeah.
of damage.
You can
and
even
you're just-
regenerate your jacket.
Exactly.
right.
Right. You know,
Your hand
it's-
gets cut off. All you gotta do is just put it right back on.
Pour some green stuff on it.
That's
You're
right.
fine.
Because at the
Ain't
end
no
of the
problem.
game, you actually end up having an hallucination, or you run
Yeah.
into Evelyn, and she tells you
Mm-hmm.
that in RE7 you died. Right? You died when Jack Baker pulled you into the house. Like
Right.
when you first
stomped you to
found, he
death.
stomped you in the fucking face.
Yeah.
You know, and that killed your ass. Drags you into the house.
And then when they fed
staples
you with
on
all
your
the shit.
hands.
Right.
Yeah. And he's like, "Welcome to the family, son."
Yeah.
You know, that's because
That's
that
because
gift.
you're-
That line means a lot
It
more.
means a
Yeah,
lot
it
more, doesn't it?
does.
It
Man.
tells you. It tell you way back then. Because I've often wondered. I'm like, dude, why am I able to sustain such damage?
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like Mia just shanking me up. You know, chainsaw to my wrist, and that's whatever. They
Right.
stapled it back on, and it stayed.
It's
works.
good.
Yeah.
You know, yeah,
fingers
gave
are
me this
fine.
nice little watch and everything. You know,
Cover up the scar.
You know, yeah, that's
Yeah,
sweet.
right.
You know, I mean, but I didn't know we can actually heal fabric. But and
man.
still, and so it's just really interesting. You know, just looking at this entirety of the story, like, you know, we don't know what exactly, you know, because often they're just like, oh, what are you? You know,
Yeah.
are you sure you're not one of us?
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm sure that there are definitely signs when you see Ethan that he's mold, and Ethan's just so brain dead that he's not even thinking about it. You know, he's driven by pure will.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know, like, that's it.
He's got a goal, and that's all he's thinking about.
Right.
Yeah.
And a heart of gold.
And a heart of gold. And it's like, okay.
A heart, fungusy heart of gold.
Yeah, and it's like both of you molded because the baby was actually from Mia, but then Mother Miranda switched places with her. Right?
So that was Mia's. That is their actual child.
Actually, yeah, Mother Miranda's child is Ava, right? And Ava ended up. That was Evelyn, and she ended up. Well, we know what happened to her. She ended up dying.
Talking about Mima.
Huh? Meemaw. yeah, Meemaw. God, I hate. It makes me frown because I think about. I know that lolling head. Oh man. You know, and so for real, that was my favorite thing to do.
Dude,
I just run from one side of the room to the other and just watch her. Just,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. They really should have given her a hammer and let her do the.
You know, and so that was. So that's, you know, you think about it, and what kind of moldy ass sex were they? I mean, I think. You know, like both of them were heavily infected with this shit, and she had a baby. And it's funny, man, because if you look at the pictures of Mia when she's pregnant, her stomach is huge, right?
Yeah.
Because this child ages at an accelerated rate, right? Just like Evelyn.
Yeah.
That was the problem. It's a side of the progenitor virus or whatever the fuck. Is that it makes people age rapidly.
Right.
So that's why Evelyn ended up as an old lady while she was still really a child at heart and in mind.
But she must have had like a 12-pound kid.
Well, she did. Actually, I think she
Yeah.
was. She was sitting at about 12 pounds. And then, and in the beginning, Village of Shadows, when they were reading the book to her, you know, you see the size of this kid. This kid is huge.
Oh,
Got
yeah.
a huge noggin.
He's got a huge baby. And so it really makes me think about it, like towards the end of the game, you know, when you know, Ethan dies, whatever, and she's visiting his gravesite, and you know, the guy's just like, oh, you know, well, I'll handle her. She's just a kid. And he comes up and calls her Evelyn, and she's like, I'll fuck you up, kid. Like, don't cross that line again. You know, I can do things that Chris doesn't even know about.
Right.
And they're like, do you need some help? Should I take the shot right now? You know, this guy talking to the soldier that was sitting there talking to what's her name? Rose.
Yeah, Rose.
And he's like, no, she's just a kid. And, you know, I was thinking about that. I'm like, you know what? She might psychologically really be like 7 or 8. But, you know, due to the progenitor virus, she looks a lot older than she actually is. Right?
Oh, man.
And
that's ugh.
Right. You know, so it's
Heavy.
really interesting. And then they end
Yeah.
up driving off down the road, whatever. And she's like, you know, I've got work to do, et cetera, et cetera. But if you notice at the very end of that scene, they show you the truck driving down the road for a very long time. And then you'll see a small figure, a person walking towards the truck. And it's like, oh, who's that person? And people have actually zoomed into that, you know, and they gave you the photo editor.
Right, yeah.
And it's Ethan. And it's Ethan. So that either was a placeholder.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a placeholder model. I don't know why they would have ever done that.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't
No,
make sense.
It has to
no.
be.
It
You
feels
know,
like
but
that
it's
would
probably
be something.
Ethan coming to get his daughter.
Yeah.
You know, but like, okay, I'm going to get you from there as well. Like,
But it also
Who knows?
is like the story of the father is over.
right, because she's probably going to be our next protagonist if
is-
we
yeah.
Which would
don't
be
just
cool.
go back to Chris. You know,
Yeah.
there's a chance we might just go back to Chris and call it a day.
I would bet. Speaking of DLC, I would bet that Chris is one of those.
There's a
Well, they
section.
did it last time. They did
Yeah.
Not a Hero.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they added the section in, because there is a section in 8 where you play as Chris.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's short, but it's cool.
But it's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
And you also don't have to worry about running out of ammo in that
Oh,
section.
great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They give you
Really
so
cool.
much ammo. Yeah. But so I kind of think that's the reason they added that part in, is so they'd get the Chris out of the way.
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
if they will make Chris a DLC character. I feel like they
He
might
changes
bring
the game.
in.
He makes it super
Yeah.
action.
What if
you
they
know?
brought
Yeah,
in another Resident Evil character, though? I mean, I was
Claire?
thinking Leon. I was really thinking, where's Leon been, dude? Where's Leon been?
I wonder how this engine would handle Leon. Because you couldn't be first person. Well, I mean, you could, because they did the same thing with Jack Baker's. I wish I could remember his name. But Jack's.
It's Bruce Baker.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like John or Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby Baker. But they
Bobby
do.
Boopy.
They gave him like you know, like grapples.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, and Leon Scott Kennedy, we know that he'll suplex a motherfucker quick.
Oh,
Suplex
yeah,
your head
he
right off.
Right
on.
That's right. And he'll also
Yeah.
roundhouse you. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
If you
real
take
quick.
my man's roundhouse away, I'll be very unhappy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I feel like if you put Leon in the game, he steals the show. I feel like, I mean, now, not saying that I don't want to see it happen. I would love to see it happen, but Leon, he's just too good.
He tears it up.
He
Right.
is too good.
Man, yeah, I can see what you're saying on that. I'm just kind of
I feel
hoping
you
that
there.
maybe they
man.
bring in somebody else. Yeah, really. Yeah.
Just saying.
You know, well, I mean, who knows? Because in the
It's
in
gonna
the
be
DLC
Barry.
for the original
It's gonna be
game-
Barry.
Oh, fuck!
It's gonna be my man Barry.
It's gonna rip. It's gonna run
With the
in.
fucking Colt Python.
Ethan, you were almost a
Let's
Jill
go.
sandwich.
That's when we need the master of unlocking because I mean there were
That's
what,
right.
like maybe 5 or 6 drawers that you had to
Yeah.
Jimmy open. She would have
Yeah.
been great for that.
She'd been perfect.
Yeah, I just don't see where anybody else would fit
Yeah.
unless they let you play as Rose. You know, now because
that
they do
that shouldn't be
specify the
DLC
story of the
though, right?
father. I think it would fit as DLC. Totally,
Okay.
because
Yeah,
we don't
I
know where
think
she's
so.
going right now. They have her on a
Right.
mission. She's going somewhere.
So rather
you
than
know?
a sequel, it would work as DLC, you think?
Totally.
Okay.
Absolutely, because I could see them keeping this entire story kind of self-contained. You know, like they could run with it, sure, but after the story of Ethan's drawn to a conclusion, either they're setting up for something incredibly massive with Rose herself, or, I mean, we don't really have many of the Stars team to work with. You
Not
know?
really,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean,
who-
what? We
who do
pretty
got?
much only have Chris at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and so like if you add Chris, then it ceases to be survival horror. It goes back to that action-esque Resident Evil.
Right.
Punching boulders.
Right. Punching boulders. Your boy Heisenberg calls him out on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
Boulder
oh,
punching
boulder
bastard.
punching-
Yeah.
Just funny yourself.
I'm sure Chris is just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Punch the hell out of that boulder. Yeah, dude.
Do it again
Man.
too.
That's right.
You know? And so it is.
So is Wesker dead?
I got some callous ass
Can
knuckles.
Wesker die?
Wesker is dead. Supposedly dead.
Because he got thrown into a volcano.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But so did Heihachi Mishima.
Right,
That's why, you know,
exactly.
it just-
Yeah,
it
yeah.
happens to be.
Volcanoes don't kill people.
No,
What are you talking
no,
about?
no,
Yeah.
no, absolutely not.
I'll say this, man. I really dig if you think about the visual representation of the way that the it's not the Las Plagas in 5. What's it called in 5? The
An RE5.
Ouroboros?
It is the Las Plagas. I thought it was. No, it is the Ouroboros.
It's the Ouroboros. That's right.
Yeah.
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 So, I mean, it's still Las Plagas, but it's like the next evolution of the Las
Right.
Plagas,
Yeah.
right? The way that the Ouroboros looks is almost exactly like the way the molded look.
Yeah.
Like they really
Yeah.
made sure to keep that style consistent to where in a weird way
they're
it's
tying it all together.
it's all connected.
connected.
Yeah, it's all just one step away from the and it kind of makes sense if you think about what's going on with Heisenberg and everything in the village. That the Umbrella side of things being a chemical corporation, we're like, well, maybe we can do this less messy, and then
Right.
that's where you get your tyrant and your nemesis and all that kind of
Right,
stuff.
yeah.
It's basic. We're trying to do the same thing you're doing over there, but we're going to do it with technology rather than
Right.
with magic. or
Magic.
whatever
Yeah.
fucking-
Have a
or
whole
whatever
religious
the fuck-
spin on everything.
Right.
Because this is the first time they really put like that kind of spin on Resident Evil.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Easily.
right. They
Like
kinda-
the
they kind of
Colts.
Yeah,
Right.
Like
They
kinda
kind
thing.
of toyed with it a little bit with RE4 at the very beginning.
just a bit,
But,
just a little.
yeah.
But then they switch it on you. We're like, nah, joking. It was a Las Plagas. This
Right.
is
Exactly.
just a parasite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You said you're
We're joking. It was just a Napoleon midget.
Whatever.
Totally different from a cult.
yeah. Right. You know?
Man.
Yeah, and so even though I feel like they kind of dropped a lot of that, with the whole
Napoleon midget.
everybody, praying and in life and in death,
Oh, yeah.
we give glory.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
what the fuck are you even talking about? To yourself, because that is Mother Miranda.
That
So
is
I'm
Mother
like,
Right.
Miranda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that old lady.
Uh-huh.
That's Mother Miranda, dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she's her. She's who else? Was Mother Miranda. She was Mia.
She's Mia
She's
at the
Mia,
beginning.
she's
That's why
Mother
she takes so
Miranda,
many
she's-
bullets.
Uh-huh.
Man, they drive by that house, don't they?
Yeah,
boy.
dude.
Rolled on it.
Yeah.
bro.
Come on.
Rolled on it. And she took that first shot, looked at it, and she was like,
It's like,
the fuck?
man, hell
know,
no.
for
Nobody.
real.
Who shot me?
shot
yeah.
me?
Yeah, that's the way she looked, really. Yeah. Just pissed off about it. Yeah.
Dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Ethan over there
Man, I
freaking
just
the
washed
fuck out.
this shirt.
And then just
Exactly. It's just kind of like, have you watched any of those Resident Evil 8, but it's ruined by mods?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh no, I haven't watched
Yeah,
any of
fucking
that shit
yeah,
yet.
dude. Like somebody just like
That handsome Squidward man.
bro. Yeah, as the lichens, you know. But the thing that cracked me up was John Wick as Chris.
Oh no,
You know, so he comes in, John Wick just comes and plugs the shit out of Mia.
The Minnie and Mickey thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My God, it's
Yeah,
so good.
it's so
Because
good.
the voice actors that do the Minnie and Mickey voices,
Nail
they're
Mickey,
spot on.
dude.
Yeah.
Nailed them. You know, so,
that's cool.
but yeah, I
We'll
think
have
they're
to
up
look
3
some of that.
episodes.
We'll have to look some of that up.
I'm
here
absolutely.
soon.
Yeah.
Bro, it's so well done.
Yeah.
It's so well done, especially when
Yeah.
you see who plays Rose.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Can't wait.
I'm
We're
not
getting
even gonna
on.
say it. I'm not even gonna say it. Yeah,
We're getting on at about like a little over 2 hours now. And I'm pretty sure we could talk for at least another 2.
I still have
2 or 3 days.
many
Yeah.
more things to say about Resident Evil
Absolutely.
Village. Is there any wrap up stuff you guys want to talk
anything? No. I mean, I'm good.
Yeah.
Guys, just so you know, I don't know if anybody. We haven't been paying attention to the stream because it was fucking up.
We were having so many
We're
dropouts.
having so many
We're gonna
dropouts.
re-upload this.
We're gonna
It's-
re-upload
yeah.
this. It'll be fine. Anyways, no, that's pretty much it. Check
That's
us
it.
out on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify.
Yeah.
And once I get the information that I need and get everything together for the live commentary or for the commentary on Frankenstein's army, you'll definitely know about that.
Mm-hmm.
Trey, do you have anything to plug or like your Twitch stream or anything like that?
Man, links are in the description.
Links
Y'all
are
know
in the
that.
description. We now have a beefy link thing.
Yeah,
so-
we do.
Yeah.
Let's go.
There you go. Well, thanks for being
Oh,
on the show. It's
well, one
always
thing
a-
for anybody who wants to jam out, I'm going to do Electronaut streaming on Wednesdays starting at. I'm going to aim to go from 3 to 5 Central, but I might go over. Just so you know,
You never
playing
know.
random shit in VR
Right.
and jamming out. So if you want to hear some tunes, come and chill with me.
Cool.
Do it. And then watch us beat the hell out of each other in fighters occasionally.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. On the menu. Oh, we got to talk about Virtual Fighter. We got some things to cover.
We do. Yeah, man. Well, I'm thinking when Strive comes out, me and you and Robbie can all talk about this
let's
because
go.
I really want to get Robbie on here, and I have some controversial shit to talk about with you guys when it comes to Strive. I think I have an opinion that you guys don't feel.
I can't wait to hear it.
Absolutely. Well, check it out soon.
Peace.
Soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.